Welcome to Leuzinger High School. It is the Mayor's Cup between Hawthorne Cougars and the Leuzinger Olympians. Good evening, everybody, from Lou House, where the Olympic torch is burning brightly overhead, along with Rashawn Haylock and our very special guest, also Sebastian Spencer and Brian Robert Taylor. I'm Lou Stowers and the terrific Channel 22 sports crew. And Mayor Hoffman, this is going to be a terrific matchup. And Hawthorne High School, they look like they may wrestle the cup away. Is that going to be true?
They keep telling me that, but I'm not too. I hope they play a tremendous game, and I've got to root for both teams because we got kids on both sides of the line of scrimmage tonight. So, but I'm still hoping for Leuzinger.
Well, this is going to be tougher than one of your elections.
Oh yes, oh yeah. Let me tell you, you have to watch who's out there and who's doing what, and give them all credit for their game.
That's right. Well, the Cougars have put together a terrific year so far since getting that 45-game monkey off their back.
Right, and 9 years of being beat by Leuzinger, they're ready for Leuzinger tonight. But I hope Leuzinger is ready for Hawthorne tonight.
Hey, Mayor, how tough will it be, do you think, to hand over that cup to Hawthorne if that happens tonight?
And I've already talked to some people about that because we got to be good sports about that. If they win that, I'm going to give them the trophy.
Are you sure?
Oh, you bet I am. I've already told the people that if we have to give it up, we have to give it up. Next year's another year.
That's right. But they're going to have to wrestle it away from you, I'm sure.
Yeah, but no, we'll honor that team that wins tonight.
All right, Mayor Harold Hoffman, City of Lawndale, thank you very much for joining us right now. Now let's bring in Sebastian and Brian, and we'll talk about this big matchup, the crosstown rivalry, always fun to have. And Sebastian, what about the Leuzinger Olympians? They've lost their first 4 games, 6 in a row, and 9 in a row actually, but they haven't scored in 6 games.
Yeah, this Leuzinger Olympian team is a team that's really looking to gather themselves this game and try to pick everything back up to back where this program really used to be. And this is a team that's not really used to losing in this league or this Mayor's Cup. So we'll see what they do tonight.
And Rashawn, they have a couple of guys, one guy returning, and Crockett and Christie is their big gun.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about it. They need to establish something with those big guns. They've been talking about Crockett for the entire summer, the entire fall. They need some production out of him. And it's all about putting him in a situation to be successful and putting the ball in your playmakers' hands. That's something this team hasn't been able to do. Hopefully things are a little bit more simplified now, and they're able to put some points up on the board.
And just up the street at Hawthorne High School, Brian, these Cougars have really put together a terrific season so far.
Yeah, we talked to the coach earlier. They're 3-1, and they're poised, I think, to win for the first time in 9 years. As Rashawn was saying, it's going to be something maybe to have Leuzinger handed over to them. Leuzinger, of course, they've been outscored 190 points to 0. They're 0-4, and they took it last year, so they're looking to kind of reverse their fortunes.
And we'll see how Isaiah Brame does away from High Courtney Field. And we'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this. The Cougars invade the Olympians on Channel 22. And now we'll go to midfield for the coin toss.
We'll be on the Leuzinger sideline, and Mr. Smotrys will be our back judge tonight. White, you guys are the visitors. You get the honor of calling the coin toss, okay? I've got a $1 coin. President Eisenhower's heads. We've got the moon and the Liberty Bell are tails. Call it nice and loud in the air. If I drop it, we're going to pick it up and do it again, okay? Here we go.
Heads.
You've called heads, and it is tails. You've won the toss. Defer. You'd like to defer. Blue has won the toss. Defers. You guys want the ball? Yeah. Which goal do you want to defend? Okay, turn your backs to a goal you're defending, guys. One, just stay here and pivot, guys. White is receiving, guys. Come in here for 1 second. Again, guys. Good ball.
just want to let the booth know that we can't hear ourselves in our headphones, and Hawthorne wins the toss, but the Leuzinger Olympians have deferred. Or the Leuzinger Olympians will accept the kickoff from Hawthorne, so the Cougars will get the ball. So the Cougars will get the ball in the second half from the Olympians. Our referee, Ken Smotrees. Umpire will be Phil Jenks. The head linesman, Nate Sterling. Line judge, Jason Skinner. And the back judge is Steve Smotrees. So, Rashawn Haylock, it's going to be an interesting game, that's for sure, with lots going on here at Leuzinger with their football program.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a tumultuous week for this Leuzinger High School football team. Coach Reggie Grant, who was here for about a year and a half, resigned on Wednesday, and entered Keith Aguilar as the new head coach for these Olympians. Aguilar was the JV head coach and now takes over as the head coach of the varsity. And Coach Grant resigning earlier in the week, citing personal reasons. So we definitely hope everything is okay with he and his family. He said had this team been 4-0, he still would have resigned no matter what. So obviously some things going on with him in his life, and we certainly wish him the best. And as far as this Leuzinger football team goes, it's time for them to move on. 1-13 in the Grant era, looking to start fresh and turn a new leaf per se here in the Keith Aguilar era.
All right, well, I thought that the Hawthorne Cougars were going to kick the ball to the Olympians, but now we see that they will receive the ball from the Olympians. Menekelu Kabia will kick the ball off. He's wearing number 47, not 22. So he will kick the ball off high, end over end, and it lands into the hands of the receiver for Hawthorne at the 10-yard line. And gets up to, that's Isaiah Brame, gets up to about the 27-yard line. Will be 1st and 10 for the Olympians.
You hope to see a whole lot of number 6 if you're a Hawthorne Cougar fan tonight. Talking to Coach K before the game started, he said 6 will touch the ball, hopefully more than we saw him last week. He gets it right here on the opening kickoff and makes a nice run up near the 30-yard line for the Cougars. And all white here tonight. Ricky Calderon, once again, the starter under center.
And in the spread offense, they do spread out. Marcus Castleberry, wearing number 13, split wide to the far side. Lots of numbers flipping around. And the handoff on the reverse goes to running back, and that is Stephen Gant. Stephen Gant getting out to about the 40-yard line, but there is a flag on the play back at the 35. So it'll be, well, it could be second down, could be first down. Let's see what the play is. But a good run by Gant.
And nice run by Gant. And that's a little bit of a wrinkle. Didn't really see that last week. You usually think of Stephen Gant, think of him as a down the field threat, but there he gets it off the reverse. It's going to be a legal block in the back against the Cougars, so that'll move them back. As you take a look at the replay here, does a nice job staying on his feet, breaking that tackle in the backfield, takes it up that far side and where he's tripped up, but there was a block in the back end there somewhere, and the Cougars will move back.
So the ball will go back to about the 24-yard line, 25-yard line we'll call it. So it was at the 35-yard line. So we'll give Gant a 7-yard carry net. So out of the shotgun, Gant again in motion, and the handoff goes up the middle. And that's Larry Williams getting the handoff. And that's to the 34-yard line. So it'll be second down and about 5 yards to go.
Nice job going right off that left guard there that time, and he's able to pick up some positive yardage as they get past the original line of scrimmage.
So it's about close to an 8-yard gain. Back to passes Calderon, in and out of the hands of the receiver. That was Isaiah Brame.
You don't really see that much, huh?
Not at all.
It had that one go right through his hands there that time, and that's usually a ball that Brame is going to catch, tuck away, and probably even run a little bit afterwards. But He was sandwiched there that time. Nice job by the Leuzinger defense. If they're going to locate one person on this Hawthorne team tonight, it's going to be the guy wearing number 6 in the white jersey.
Stefan Amos with the coverage, and we got a big 3rd and 6 play, Rashawn. Trips to the right side as far as the receivers go. Williams, the lone man in the backfield, a wide receiver bubble screen, and that was almost a lateral, and Hawthorne covered up on it, and a good job by the Leuzinger defense, although 2 drop passes by the Cougars.
Yeah, very uncustomary by these Cougars. You talk about Bramwell, here's your all-league guy from a year ago, Chris Bailey. You'd never see that. He had that one and just slipped right out of his hands.
Chris Bailey's where, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And ends up forcing a 4th down.
Chris Bailey wearing number 1. That's about one of the only guys that's wearing the number that we originally had. And at number 9, Courtney Crockett back to receive the punt. And he's just going to let that one bounce. And that one is downed by Justin Jacobo, who's back wearing number 45 tonight.
Man, nice job by Perez. Partner, you take a look, the pressure is coming. He had to kind of scatter rugby style, was able to get rid of that one with the right foot. Nice job by the kicker, showing some athleticism there to be able to get rid of that football.
Yeah, there's a muddy spot at the 25-yard line, so the officials line it at the 26. But I don't think that's why.
And you want to look at the left guard right now because both of his feet are planted right in that muddy spot you're talking about, Lou.
Pitch is back to the running back, and that is to Devin Christie. Devin Christie gets about a 12-yard gain and is first down at the 40-yard line.
And you talk about Devin Christie, you talk about Courtney Crockett. These are guys that are going to have to touch the football. They go toss sweep, very first play of the drive for them, and he's able to pick up a first down on the play. Things are going to be a little bit different philosophy-wise between Coach Brand and Coach Aguilar. Coach Aguilar wants to ground and pound a little bit more.
Pitch is back to Christie again. Christie comes upfield and hurdles over and gets hit, still on his feet. And Christie finally gets down, but not after another 12-yard gain into Hawthorne territory.
And does he want it or not, Lou? Are you kidding me? Looks like a high hurdler here as he's able to hop over the defender, or actually one of his own guys and a defender, and then he bounces off of a tackle and the referee all in the same run.
But that was off of Tyler Singleton, who usually is a sure tackler back in that defensive backfield. Out of the eye go the Olympians inside of Hawthorne territory, and slipping down and falling is the quarterback for the Olympians. And number 11, is that Courtney Crockett's new number? I'm going to say so. Maybe he changed his number after throwing two interceptions last week, but that goes back to the 46-yard line of Hawthorne. So hand up the middle, and look out. Some big yardage on that play by Lauma Kololo. Kololo almost getting a first down on that run, but well over 10 yards on that play.
And talking to Coach Aguilar, he said one thing we have to do is use our speed. Use our athletes and use our speed to our advantage, and he feels like they'll be able to do more of that in the running game.
So 13 yards for Kololo, and a big block by Kololo, and that sends Christie to a first down. And finally, Bulldog down inside the 35-yard line. Another first down for the Olympians, and they are fired up for this
and
one.
Listen to this crowd, Lou. I mean, they are fired up for this 2011 edition of the Mayor's Cup, and probably no more than this guy right here. Devin Christie gets picked up and pile drive, got right back up, unfazed, as he's clearly been the go-to guy on this drive for the Olympians.
Out of the eye, doing some basic formations, and Kololo with the run, and look out, he barrels across the 20-yard line down to the 15. Finally taken down by Isaiah Brain, but not before another Olympian first down.
One thing that has beleaguered them is the passing game. And they've completed just 3 passes all season. Run, run, run. That's all Coach Aguilar talked about before the game. That's all he intended to do. And so far, no passes on this drive, partner.
And They haven't need to. They've just been blowing holes against this big, experienced, and fast defensive line of the Cougars. Maybe they've been reading the press clippings. And a handoff. This one's going nowhere to Winter Watts, who's been a terrific player for them as well, with 12 yards on 7 carries last week. Leads this club with 35 tackles on defense.
Yeah, I was just, you took the words right out of my mouth, partner, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to talk about him tonight as this game goes along for his outstanding play on the defensive end, but I mean, he's another guy that can get some carries for this team.
2nd and 11. Courtney Crockett is actually a wide receiver over on the far sideline. Maybe we can get one of our sideline reporters to find out who our quarterback is. This one is handed up off the middle, but actually a fake. Runner goes around the right tackle, and that was the quarterback keeper. Down to the 10-yard line.
That quarterback, Justin Delgado, on the keeper. We're told, partners, he comes right off the right side.
Okay.
They've had kind of a shuffle at the quarterback position this season. Haven't been able to stick with one guy. Delgado started the season, got hurt, now he's back in there at the starting lineup.
So probably a false start somewhere as Ken Smotrese throws the flag up. 3rd and 5 from the 10 is where it was. And now they're going to go back 5 yards.
And take a look at the false start there. Moves them back 5 yards, but this team can smell the end zone. Can they sniff it enough to get a taste is the question, partner. Something they haven't been able to do, as you mentioned in the open, for the last 6 games.
That's right. The losers of 9 straight, and that's not our older brothers Olympians, that's for sure.
Absolutely not.
Hand off by Delgado, and Christie gets smacked at the line of scrimmage, spins across down to about the 14-yard line, and a big 4th down decision for the Olympians.
Take Christie going off the left side, tried to spin off there that time, but then he ran into about 4 white jerseys there for Hawthorne.
So it'll be 4th and 9. And they are definitely going for it. Delgado brings them up, has one man back out of the shotgun, and that is Cololo. A little corner route, no one was there. The closest person to it was the Cougar defender, and that was Chris Bailey. So somebody, I think you were right, that was supposed to be a post pattern.
Yeah, so someone zigged when they should have zagged. Obviously, Christie and Delgado crossed up there. As you mentioned, Christie was running the post right there between the 2 defenders, had some space, but Delgado threw a corner. And so the nice drive put together for the Olympians to start the game goes for naught.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for the Cougars at their own, let's check that, 1st and 10 at their own 15. And we were kind of joking with Mayor Hoffman about could this Mayor's Cup change hands, but so far the Olympians have said not yet.
Not yet. They definitely came out here looking to make a statement. You know, Mayor Hoffman doesn't want to get rid of that trophy.
He might be like Charlton Heston, where you're going to have to take that rifle out of his cold, dead hands.
He says if Hawthorne wins, he doesn't have a problem handing it off to him. I think he may run away with it.
There, Larry Williams in the backfield for Calderon, and whistles blowing all over the place. Dirty laundry. Somebody line up out offside, maybe.
It's going to be a false start.
Let's go to Brian Robert Taylor.
Hey, well, number 11, Leuzinger quarterback Justin Delgado had a pretty nice run there. Of course, Leuzinger did come up short. You know, guys, the big story this week, the Daily News, was, of course, or is about the Leuzinger coach. He stepped down, and filling his shoes is the junior varsity coach, Keith Aguilar. I spoke to him before the game for a few short moments. He's really kind of stepped into it. Things are pretty disorganized, but they had a nice run there. Where basically the guys are just going to go out and punt, play some hard football, let the chips fall where they may, and we're going to roll our new offense in the next couple of weeks, and we'll just do the best we can. Tomorrow is a meeting at 7 a.m. He's going to meet with the officials of the school to talk about reorganizing the program. and he's got a lot of ambitious plans. Guys?
Thank you very much, Brian. An incomplete pass down the sidelines, and it'll be a big 2nd down and 15.
And one thing we learned is you see the pass incomplete to Bailey. Hard to outthrow him. But Coach Aguilar, extremely organized. Borderline OCD, although he said he's not.
Larry Williams gets the ball, hands it off, or gets the hand off, and spins his way across the 15-yard line, the original line of scrimmage, up to about the 18. So it'll be a big 3rd down and 7 or 8 yards to go.
Yep. You see that nice block and by the right guard there that time, picking up a nice pancake, clearing out space there, allowing Williams to get through.
Calderon hands it off, first man up the middle, not really fooling the Olympian defense. And carrying the ball, Larry Williams lost his hat, so it'll be 4th down and about 5 yards to go. And here comes the punting unit.
I'll tell you what, 5:20 left in this first quarter, but you still got to be somewhat impressed by this Leuzinger defense. I mean, they've just been torched through these first 4 games, albeit against some very good teams, but they've come out here and they've kind of manhandled this Hawthorne team.
Perez, look out, he may be tackled in the backfield, barely gets it off, and terrific field position going to be for the Olympians, but a terrific kick by Perez as this goes all the way back into the Leuzinger territory and down at about the 43-yard line. But tell you what, Sloan Teone Tavatiana almost tackled Perez in the backfield.
Wow, look at this. Are you kidding me? This is the 2nd time tonight he's had to do this, but that time was even closer than the first time. How he was able to get away and get that kickoff is beyond me, but kudos to the kicker, and even got a friendly bounce there, allowing Leuzinger to start in their own territory.
4:48 left to go in the first quarter. That was a 37-yard punt, net punt for Perez. So you got to,
which should have been a huge loss.
That
Should have been taken down inside the 5.
That's right. Should have been 1st and goal. Delgado pitches the ball back, and this one goes to Courtney Crockett. Crockett goes around the edge and up around midfield for a big 1st down run.
And nice job, and he's the guy. And before the season started, you read about playmakers throughout the South Bay area, and they mention this guy, Courtney Crockett, and he comes off the right side here, is able to pick up some yards there on the carry. They can line him out wide. They can also put him in the backfield, similar to what Hawthorne does with Isaiah Brame.
So at the 49-yard line, a 6-yard gain for Crockett. Hands the ball off to the big guy again, and Cololo actually, that might have been Cololo, but also Brian Navarro and Coluni. And that's a 1st down run for Crockett down to the 45-yard line.
And look at the strength, though, there by the lineman, Manuatu. I mean, Crockett's running full speed. He just grabs him and yanks him down with one arm.
Yeah, big Coluni with a 6-yard gain and a 1st down. And now Delgado pitches the ball to Crockett, and even though he was in the grasp by Jacobo, still got the ball away. And a gain of about 3 yards on the play, down to about the 42-yard line.
And talk about the ability to improv. Like, he should be down here. But he's still able to pitch it out to Crockett, and they turn which should have been a long loss into somewhat of a short gain here.
So Justin is 5'11", 190, had to use all of that strength against Jacobo, who's 5'9", 185. Delgado under center. Hands the ball off to Crockett, who is met at the line of scrimmage by Singleton, among others, and is driven back.
And this is one of the issues that you're going to find now a team like Leuzinger. Obviously want to keep it on the ground, obviously want that ground and pound mentality, but there's not much misdirection, not much trickery to it. I mean, you see teams run that double wing or whatnot, and there's some deception to it. no real deception here. Line up, eye back, and guys are getting the ball out of the backfield. Here they go out of the pistol. So let's see a different look.
Also, Chance Kennedy in on that tackle as well, as now Delgado's going to keep it. We have a penalty flag, and Cololo in on the tackle. Also there is Jacobo. So let's see what the flag is. It wasn't a first down across the 40-yard line to the 39, but that's a hold against Leuzinger, so that's going to nullify that run.
And I'm not sure if that wasn't a design run. I'm not sure if it wasn't. Delgado appeared not to even look downfield. He appeared not to even be looking to throw the football there that time.
So now it would be a 4th down and about 4 yards to go, but they're going to send, they being the Cougars, are going to send Leuzinger back.
That's one thing you can't do, especially when you're a little bit handicapped offensively. If you're Leuzinger, can't have those big penalties and move you backwards.
All the way back to their own 41-yard line, so a huge loss from where the hold was. Delgado back to pass now, finally gets a handle on it. Look out, he's being chased down. Can he get out of the grasp? Just barely, and the pass is completed to Winter Watts up to about midfield, but it was dropped. Okay.
They dropped it.
Woody L. Gonzalez with the big pressure.
Yeah, on contact there, Watts unable to hold it right here. If you're Delgado, you just got to get rid of this ball. You got to throw it away. Pressure's coming. He just kind of heaved it up there. And big hit there applied defensively.
Was that Medina Salam?
Looked like Salam there applying the hit.
Chris Bailey back to accept the punt. And punting the ball away, Matthew Gonzalez on a big 4th and 20. Line drive, end over end, and the ball is downed immediately by Ramaje Williams. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars. Decent field position at their own 35.
And let's see if they can get something going here offensively. Ramaje a little overzealous there that time down in that ball. May have been able to take a little bit more of a Leuzinger bounce, but he got a touch on it. So good field position for Hawthorne, perhaps their best field position of the night.
2:01 left to go in the first quarter. No score in the Mayor's Cup. Chris Bailey split down at the bottom here, the bottom of your screen. Number 19 is Stephen Gantz. Also there, Larry Williams getting the handoff. Williams sliding across the tackle, spinning back inside to the 41-yard line. Good job by Williams.
Yeah, nice job by Williams. We saw Isaiah Brame in the backfield for the first time tonight. It's a guy that can hurt you in many ways as you see Williams go off left guard. Brame is a guy that they like to get in a lot of different situations. And interesting thing that Coach K says, whenever he gets the ball in his hand, he's a running back.
So 5-yard gain for Williams. Handoff, good cutback, Isaiah Brame. Isaiah gets to the 40, loses his man. That's Courtney Crockett. You can forget about it. Into the house for the Cougars. It's 6-0 Hawthorne. Isaiah Brame with a 60-yard touchdown run.
How about that? How about Isaiah Brame? We were just talking about him lining up in the backfield. Coach said whenever he gets the ball in his hands, he's a running back. Whether he catches it out of the backfield, whether he catches it out wide, whether he gets it out of the backfield on a straight handoff like there. I mean, he made a couple of moves, and then how about that move he made on Crockett and was just gone.
And also made a terrific move on number 4 as well. That's
Arnell Warren. And you talk about your home run hitters.
Wow.
See ya.
That was a 60-yarder. So now Perez coming on to tack on the extra point. Alejandro Perez.
Man, he's arguably been the player of the game for Hawthorne so far tonight before that Brame run.
That's right, Larry Williams grinding it out. A couple of incomplete passes, and all of a sudden, bam. Took the wind out of the Olympian sail, especially here in the stands. The electricity has gone out, and Alejandro Perez is right down the middle. So with 1:15 left to go in the first quarter, the Cougars break through on a huge run by, there he is, Isaiah Brame.
And you talk about how deflating that is for for Leuzinger. I mean, you're stopping him, you're stopping him, you're stopping him. But then if you're Coach K on the Hawthorne side, you have this ace in the hole in Isaiah Brame. You give it to him, and look out. There he goes. He gives these Cougars a 7-0 lead here in the 2011 edition of the Mayor's Cup. And this guy's a legit playmaker. Regardless of the competition, we've seen him show up.
So that was a 2-play, 65-yard drive. And that took a little under a minute. About 55 seconds, 54 seconds. Alejandro with the onside kick, and it's on the ground. It's picked up by Stephen Gant. He goes out of bounds, and that should be Cougar ball. Let's find out what the officials say.
I think it is.
It is. A perfect onside kick as Alejandro got that ball down low.
Nice job. How about Coach K going to the bag of tricks here? And I'll tell you, Perez has been the guy for them so far today. I mean, he's saved 2 punts, and then also the onside kick here. And I'm not a betting man, but I would bet a whole bunch that number 6 touches the ball once again on this drive, if not on this play.
Boy, you're not a real high-stakes gambler, are you?
Not at all. Did I go out on a limb on that one?
You sure did. Here, let me help you. Calderon hands it off to, yes, sir, that's not Brame, but that is Eric Scott Davis. Scott Davis gets to the 45-yard line. Pay up.
Scott Davis is another guy that can go off and make a play for these Cougars. Almost lost the ball there that time. Got to cover it up.
Down to the 45-yard line, so a 2-yard game. So now Isaiah Brame, after a breather, is back out there. The low man in the backfield, Chris Bailey, lined up closest to us. Stephen Gant as well. Calderon hands it off to Brame, puts on the brakes, hits the mud. No one's tackled him yet, but now, he's still on his feet. Brame comes back into the Cougar territory at the 40-yard line, still on his feet, but finally, 9 Olympians have to tackle Brame. And that's a loss all the way back to the original line of scrimmage from the last drive.
Absolutely. Huge loss there that time as Brame just kept running backwards. Makes a nice spin move there, try to get on the outside. Slips the tackle of Warren there that time. Warren almost had him again as Brame continues, but now he's just running backwards. And at a certain point, you're a competitor, you're a playmaker, but you got to give it up.
Well, this is only his, they've got a timeout on the field after a 20-yard loss. Actually, the second quarter is going to come. The first quarter's come to an end here. So, yeah, let's take a peek at that. There you see Brame dancing in the streets there. Gets Warren to miss. Here he comes back the other way, has a second chance at him. Flicks him away like a gnat in summertime. And now gets away from that guy. That was Alex Vasquez. And then finally, Cololo was the one who hit him the hardest.
And he kept thinking, one more block, one more block, one more block. And
but
kind of the
there
same thing I was thinking here. Yeah.
9 Olympians had to stop him there at the final point.
And how about that pursuit there by Leuzinger, not giving up on the play, and guys being determined to continue to move them backwards and to force them backwards. Huge loss.
So 3rd and 25 from the 35-yard line. There you see the new head coach, an art teacher. So boy, you talk about your yin and yang.
Yeah. And also the softball coach here.
Oh, no wonder he's tough.
He's got a full plate.
No wonder he's tough. If he's coaching the girls' softball team, forget it. He's the toughest guy on campus. And a surfer.
And a surfer. A busy man. Said he had to have one of his assistants go get him something to eat today. He's had a 10-minute break. That's all, the only break he's had over the last 4 days.
Calderon going for the home run catch, and it's tipped from chance candidate, but no, Chris Bailey, it's intercepted on the tip. and back comes Leuzinger. Getting the ball is Ramaji Williams, and Williams, did he fumble the ball? He may have, but it was recovered by Leuzinger, and they get the first turnover of the night, and it's 1st and 10 right at the 46-yard line of Hawthorne.
And Calderon, obviously a size advantage there with the receivers against Ramaje Williams. Williams only goes 5'7", 155, but how about the play there? Bailey tries to rip it from him, nothing doing. Leuzinger gets away with a block in the back there, but Ramaje lost the ball at the end of the play there, though, but it's recovered by the Olympians.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at their own 46-yard line with 11:46 left to go in the half. And we had an offside on Hawthorne, I do believe, so it'll be 1st and 5. And, wow. Did you see that? Chris Bailey tried to tip it to Stephen Gant, but Williams got in the way.
Yeah, he got right in the way of it. And if you want to give your playmakers an opportunity on the outside, obviously a size advantage here with these big Hawthorne receivers and the smaller secondary for Leuzinger, but Williams just went up there and snatched it.
Okay, so I was wrong there. That was Leuzinger's 5-yard loss. So they have 10 yards in penalties. It'll be 1st and 15. Back to the 41-yard line. And let's see what the penalty flag is here. Well, at least it's keeping the officials warm. Another false start. So they'll go back to the 36-yard line. So now it's desperation time for the Olympians. Is this going to be 1st and 20 for them? And Hawthorne Cougars are jumping at the line on defense, causing the Olympians to move on offense.
Yeah.
And Christie gets the handoff from the 36-yard line up to about the 39-yard line. So about a 4-yard gain. Not quite a 4-yard gain, and it'll be about 2nd down and 16.
Yeah, Christie making that first guy miss, but not going to get away from Medina Salam.
And Jacobo. That's a good 1-2 punch there, literally. So 2nd down and 16, we're calling it. Split wide to the near side is Courtney Crockett. Delgado under center, out of the eye. Delgado looked like he was confused, so now he just keeps the ball and is wrapped up by Jacobo at the 41-yard line.
And Jacobo almost came up with the strip there. And if you're Delgado, you got to be tougher with that football. Got to tuck it away some. He was kind of holding it out there. Just take a look. He has the ball. See, he's still running with it. You got to have it high and tight. And he had that ball kind of loose there. And you saw Jacobo come with that big right arm and try to strip it away from him.
So it'll be 3rd down and 14. For Leuzinger. Big tight end over on this side. Delgado pumps, throws it down the sideline for Crockett, and overthrows him by about 3 yards. He was covered on the play by Tyler Singleton. It'll be 4th and 14.
They try to get him with a little pump and go there. Fly route down the near sideline. Nice job with the pump fake. Crockett, he's a speedster. He can blow by pretty much anybody, but that time Delgado just overshot him.
There was also some pressure from the Cougar defense.
Absolutely.
So that might have caused Crockett's throw to get a little bit too much air underneath it. And Gonzalez back in punt formation for Leuzinger. Good snap. Almost blocked. And this one is going to be picked up and taken for a ride. Down the sideline, one man to beat, and that's Chris Bailey. Bailey's going to go all the way to the house. Touchdown Hawthorne. But we have a flag on the play.
Looks like we may have a flag on the play, partner. Leuzinger thinks it's coming back, and it might be.
Right in front of the coach. Or did he step out of bounds? Nope, there is a flag at the 46-yard line. So maybe a block in the back or something, and Steve Smotrees goes back to that point. But the ball was picked up at about the 35-yard line.
And he took it right off of a hop, too.
So let's see. As he gets the report, holding or blocking the back, like you
said, partner. And remember last week, Bailey tried to get a ball in a dangerous situation. I believe he picked it up around a bunch of Fireball defenders. That time he just took it up
the 30-yard
off
line.
Of a hop. And then you see the block in the back right there. It was at the left side of your screen by Chance Kennedy. He came in and picked up the block in the back, so this one's going to come back, and they'll have it at their own 36-yard line.
So a 70-yard touchdown run is nullified. And a little bubble screen, and that's complete to Isaiah Brame. Another penalty flag thrown as Brame is sent up in the air on a big hit by Courtney Crockett. But this one's probably going to come back too, as pleading his case is Marcus Castleberry.
Yeah, he didn't like the call there, but he was late in trying to pick up that block there that time, as the defender was able to get around him and get close to Brame. As we're going to take another look at it right now. Castleberry to the left of your screen, and
there
you see that hold right there that he has on a Leuzinger defender.
It was Warren that he was holding.
Yeah. And what Chick used to say, you can call it a braille. I mean, he had a whole bunch of blue in his hand.
So a loss of 16 on the play. 9:33 and counting, and 25 yards and penalties for Hawthorne so far in this half. 7-0 in favor of the Cougars. Calderon out of the pistol. Two receivers to the right. And a pass into the flat, complete. Back to up to around the 38-yard line.
Stephen Gannon on the reception there that time, and like to see him able to catch the ball. Remember, he had some issues last week with the dropsies. It's been kind of, if there's been an issue with him this season, it's having those drops every now and then, but good to see him able to make the reception there.
Out of the pistol again, and Brame gets the quick out. And here come all of the defenders. And Cololo finally finishing it off after initial hit by Dakari Pichel.
And Arnell Warren in there on the stop too. And that right there, partner, that's just an extended running play. That's all that is. A little quick bubble screen, snap, quick throw, and nice job by the Leuzinger defenders able to get there. You see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys there, all trying to corral Isaiah Brame, and that's what you have to do. You got to get a lot of guys to him and try to take him down. Otherwise, if it's just him one-on-one or one-on-two in space.
Well, the secret is out. I'm sure that everybody ad nauseum in the defensive film room was reminded that number 6 will probably be the most dangerous weapon.
And the thing I'm interested to see is how the Ocean League coaches try to defend him and defend what Hawthorne does. It's one thing in the non-league, but once you get in the league, everybody knows everything about you.
Ball is handed off up the middle to Williams. Williams into Leuzinger territory, finally tackled at the 35-yard line by Crockett, but a big first down burst by the Cougars.
Yeah, but there, and not to take anything away from Williams, but that bubble screen, those threats on the outside, that opens that up there in the middle. Now you have that in the back of your mind. We got to stop bubble screens. We got to stop the little short passes to the flat. Things open up in the middle for your running back.
22-yard gain for Larry Williams at the 35-yard line. And a timeout is called by Leuzinger. With 7:30 left to go in the second quarter in the Mayor's Cup.
Talk about this game and anticipation leading up to this one. Just a whole different feel than kind of what we've been accustomed to over the last few years. Hawthorne coming into this game tonight as a legitimate favorite. First time they've been favored in this one in quite some time. And of course, it's been well chronicled about how they haven't won this game in 2001 and got off to somewhat of a slow start. And credit the Leuzinger defense for that, but Brame has them on top with that long 60-yard touchdown run that he had earlier in this first half. But
Yeah, and then a 70-yard punt return that was nullified by the penalty.
Absolutely. And one thing that this team has is playmakers, and it's kind of a reversal of fortune, so to speak, because for so long we've been talking about Leuzinger and the playmakers that they had on that side of the field, whether it's Tayshawn Burton or Raynard Westbrook or even last year LaRon Barnes, whatever the case may be. But now you're talking about Brame and Bailey and Gant and all these guys wear the uniform of Hawthorne.
Brame is in the backfield, and he will get the pitch. Gets away from Cololo, and now Brame, trying to get away from one man, does, and he's still on his feet, finally wrestled down about the 15-yard line. Isaiah Brame is a Brame-a-bull out there.
And one thing that we really don't talk about that much, and you don't really read about that much about this young man that obviously is very understated, his ability to do this, what he does right here.
What a terrific block, though, by Singleton.
Yeah, nice block by Singleton. Look at him break that tackle there that time. Makes guys miss, and that's why you got to get more than one guy to him because he breaks tackles.
Oh, yeah. So it'll be first down and 10 at the 15-yard line of Leuzinger. And let's see where Isaiah is now. Isaiah is the H-back in the slot, and the handoff is straight up the middle.
This might be a face mask.
And Larry Williams, and there is a penalty flag right underneath Larry. So head linesman or umpire Phil Jenks telling Ken Smotrese it is indeed a face mask penalty.
It came right in there and took him down by the face mask. And
so it'll be half the distance to the goal line. And that is, we're at the 5-yard line, at the 6-yard line. So 1st and 4 for the Cougars. Handoff goes to Williams, trying to cut back, and Cololo is there to wrap him up. Also there is Alex Vasquez, but not before well, did he lose a yard on that play? Looks like he did.
Yeah, look at the pursuit there, and you're absolutely right. The Leuzinger defense all over him. Cololo leading the charge there that time.
So 2nd down and 4 still. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage, just barely. Calderon looking to see if all the pieces are in place. Sends a man in motion. That's Bailey who gets the handoff. Bailey cutting back inside towards the end zone. May have fallen in, but I do believe he's right at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get any closer than that. Bailey, nice job to make that cut back. They ran the end around. He came off the left side, and you take a look at it. Look at that cut right there. That's the one that was able to get him a couple of extra yards and almost inside of the end zone. If he reaches that ball out there, he does end up with a touchdown.
Alex Vasquez on the tackle. So now it's a first down, though, by Bailey. This is 1st and goal, and let's see, is it into the end zone for Calderon?
Yeah, keeper.
It is. Touchdown by Calderon, and it's 13-0 in favor of Hawthorne. That big offensive line shoving people out of the way.
Hey, look at Calderon, just a big push by that young, big offensive line, and he's able to get in right behind those guys, and it's a double-digit lead here for the Cougars.
Now Isaiah Brame getting a big assist on this touchdown drive as Alex Perez, excuse me, out of the hold of Calderon. Actually out of the hold of Bailey, no good. But Leuzinger's got some speed themselves. That's the one thing that's impressing me tonight, and they always have good speed on football.
Yeah, speed, athletes, they have those here. It's just a matter of putting everything together. And remember last season we talked about this bunch being so young, and a lot of those guys are gone now, whether transfers, whether academic issues. One of the biggest things that hurt them this season, not only the loss of LaRon Barnes, who transferred to Cabrillo, but also John Carrier, the quarterback as well. Remember, just a young sophomore quarterback last season who was starting to get the hang of things before he, fell to a season-ending injury. But You know, he's no longer with the team, had some academic issues, so it's almost like you got to start from scratch. And a tough deal to handle if you're Coach Grant. And obviously it's now been passed on to Coach Aguilar.
Crockett and Christie waiting for Perez's kick, and it is Christie at the 5-yard line. Christie has some blockers, has a wide open middle, steps over one man, a hold at about the 40-yard line, but Christie gets to midfield. Any flags? Yep, there is at about the 43.
And you talked about that speed. Right on cue, partners. You see Christie able to return that one into Hawthorne territory, but as you said, that flag is on the field and looks like this one may be coming back.
Wow, 47-yard return is nullified. Let's go down to Spencer.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Coach Aguilar from Hawthorne said that these guys are going to get the ball to number 6, Isaiah Brain, a little bit more, and they're doing a great job converting that defense to offense. And as you can see, they're up 14-0 right now. These guys are playing with a lot of intensity. He said at the beginning of the game, these guys weren't amped up. They weren't too charged up about the game, but nor did they not look ready either. So they just came into this game strictly ready to play football. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Spencer. Sebastian Spencer joining us tonight. And man, oh man, Cololo, just like a battering ram, like a big rock in the pinball machine.
And he's a load, huh?
The 42-yard line.
183 pounds, refusing to go down. How'd you like to tackle that?
That's an 11-yard run. So that should be a first down.
He's going to bring it, and he's going to hand you your lunch, too. And you look at him,
wow.
A little stiff form there, still holding the ball securely. Look at that, both hands on the ball, not going to get it away from him.
Cololo couldn't even get him down. As now, there he is, or I should say Collooney couldn't get him down. Is now across the 45-yard line to the 46, where it'll be second down and about 6.
Ground and pound, ground and pound. That's
gonna try to get him down.
What they're trying to do, and Coach Aguilar stressed that. He talked about the differences of what was going on here at the varsity level and at the JV level. Completely different offensive philosophies, completely different offensive playbooks. So still trying to get adjusted to things here.
Singleton with the tackle and a bubble screen to Crockett, and a naked bubble screen, and that's going to lose some yardage. Youch.
And you coming in there that time, doing a somersault almost, Manuatu, and oftentimes that would draw a flag as you look at number 58 come in towards the end of the play, and almost a sumo splash here as you take a look at it.
That looked like Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Absolutely.
That was Collooney.
Check you out with the wrestling reference.
Jeez. What are you talking about, you pencil neck geek?
It's a wonder that it's a good thing he didn't fall on his head there that time. That could have been very, very dangerous.
So -1 on the play. And around the end is Christie trying to come back the other way. Spins out of 2 tackles. Another penalty flag is going to ruin a terrific run by Devin Christie.
How about that? I mean, just the effort there by Christie. Not the biggest guy, 5'7", 175 pounds, but Christie's saying it should be a face mask.
Well, let's see.
We'll see.
Yep,
Absolutely.
It is. So it is against Hawthorne. So nicely done. So tacking on after the 18-yard run.
Yeah, but partner, look at this effort here by Christie. Has a lead blocker, but decides to use the cutback. Has a nice lane there, but just refuses to go down. Hiding behind those big blockers. Little face mask there, not going to stop him.
That's a big face mask by Gonzalez.
Spins right off of him, actually spins again before, and that face mask probably saved a touchdown there because he was looking right towards the daylight.
So all the way down to the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Delgado out of the eye, hands the ball straight up the middle. The ball is loose, and it's picked up by Chris Bailey. Oh, boy. Winter Watts got the handoff and was hit at the line of scrimmage, helmet to ball, and it got coughed up.
That ball was out. Not even a doubt about it there. Not even a question.
Looks
that
like
ball was out.
Travion Maifo.
And a nice job by there getting by Maifo that time, getting the strip. Ball was loose. Hawthorne recovers. And it's these Olympians continue to put together good drives, but once they get down here deep in the enemy territory, whether it's penalties, this time a turnover, it hurts them, and they still remain without a point on the scoreboard.
So at the 20-yard line of Hawthorne, the Cougars will get things going. So Mafu, as he wanted me to say it, or Mayfo, and he really reached his hand in there to Watts. He was the only Cougar around, or Watts might have been in the end zone right now.
And you talk about ball security too, and something that we were talking about a little bit earlier in the broadcast tonight. And that time, obviously, not doing a very good job and coming up with a turnover there that time.
How about this crowd across the way? The Hawthorne crowd, they really brought them tonight, especially with a 3-1 record and scoring 99 points so far this year against 82. Last week, a huge 35-0 splattering of Fireball.
Look good doing it.
That's right, Calderon, 8 out of 14, 131 yards and 2 touchdowns to Isaiah Brain, who had 103 yards receiving. But this is tonight. Calderon pumps, fires down the sideline, and caught right there by Paul Fuller with a big catch at the 50-yard line. So that was a big 30-yard play from Calderon to Fuller. And nice pass.
A nice pass in the corner there that time. Purcell just got all turned around. And I don't think he saw the ball. It just nice job there. I'll take that back. Nice job there by Fuller making the adjustment. He got right inside the DB that time and was able to come down with the catch.
Back to passes Calderon. Nice catch by Brain. Brain right up the middle. Has one man to beat, but then catching up. No, he's still on his feet. Gets down to the 20-yard line. Isaiah, finally caught from behind by Alex Vasquez, is playing Houdini out there with the defenders.
And that's one thing that they can go to. We talk about the bubble screen so much, but that inside slant, that's another one of those bread and butter plays for this Hawthorne team.
So Fuller with a 30-yard catch. Now Brain with a 30-yard catch. Wow. So Calderon hands it off to Williams, and he is wrapped up immediately by Pasetti Tukutau. And that is a no-gainer.
Approaching 2:40 to play here in this half, and Hawthorne looking to go up by 3 possessions, leading this one 13-0.
Coming in the ball game defensively is Antonio Lavulo. Spread offense for Hawthorne. Calderon out of the shotgun, has Williams back there with him, sends Brame in motion. Is he going to get the ball? Yep. There he goes over the edge, gets into 4th gear, but finally drugged down by the T-shirt. And not quite a first down, Rashawn, inside the 15-yard line to the 14.
Yeah, not quite. Take a look. There's so many different things they can do offensively. You see the versatility. And Watts just had to snatch him down by the jersey there that time.
They have to have that leading tackler saddled up on Brame if they're going to have a chance. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Cougars. Throw over the middle, and it goes out of bounds and on the ground, maybe knocked down. Is that Isaiah down on the ground?
It is.
Isaiah may have taken a hit as the ball was traveling through the air. So Brame on the ground, and everybody's just standing back.
They tried to go back to that slant, and it wasn't there that time. Ball thrown a little bit too high, and I think Isaiah took a little bit of a pounding there that time as he's still down.
Yeah, let's see if we can see the hit. Oh, there was a few Cougars Olympians there, one of them being Winter Watts. If we can slow it down, because just as the ball went through the hands, and that was a good pass, but like you said, a little high.
Pass was a little bit high there.
Yeah, right in the kisser.
That's close to helmet.
So getting his bell rung is Isaiah Brame, and rightfully so. He is on the ground. Now the medical staff coming out to look at Isaiah.
You never want to see that. I couldn't quite see as he pops back up. Looked like it could have been a helmet-to-helmet hit, but he hops back up, though. He's walking off under his own strength. So,
well, you've seen him. You've met him, Rashawn. What type of kid is he? I mean, I know he's just a beautiful person to watch with the ball and run, but what type of kid is he?
Yeah, nice personality. Laughable type of a guy, Isaiah Brame, but he's tough and he's focused. When he's out there on that field, he's serious and enjoys what he does, but he's also very serious about what he does. So
I just complimented him on a tape job on his ankles. He said he did it himself, and very colorful. That was last week.
No question, he took quite a shot there. Nice to see him back up on his feet, though.
Calderon hands it off on the reverse. This is to Gant. Gant cruises into the end zone, weaving his way in for the touchdown for Hawthorne. And do we have a flag?
Flag on the play.
Yep, right about the 9-yard line.
A late hold that came in. And Gant has his hands up on his helmet right now because he's realizing that touchdown that he just scored is going to be taken away.
Man, oh man.
You take nice.
That's 2 of them tonight for him, right?
Nice job, nice sneak. Nice fake there by Calderon. And nice job with the Hawthorne offensive line with the misdirection there that time. They had all of blue going one way, and they came back with the reverse the other way, exactly what the play is designed to do. And they got it in the end zone, but there was a hold somewhere. It looks like it might have been right there inside the 5.
So that's why it's back at the about the 19.
Yeah. A spot of foul penalty. So actually, I guess it was probably like around the 9 somewhere. Didn't see it on the replay, but spot of foul penalty is going to move him back.
So another 10-yard penalty on Hawthorne. Calderon on the timing pattern. Up, jump ball, just out of bounds, knocked away nicely. And that was done by Williams on the pass over on the far sideline to Gant again.
Yeah, how about this kid? How about his toughness?
Ramaji.
How about the heart there? Coming up with a stop there on 4th down, and they're going to pick on him. And he's listed as 5'7". May not be quite that tall, but you got the 6-foot Bailey trying to go up, and Ramaje goes right up there with him. Breaks up that pass play there.
So on downs, it's turned over with 1:24 left in the half at the 19-yard line. Delgado hands the ball off to Christie. Gant makes one man miss, but the second and third don't, but still a 3-yard gain. And the tackle was made on the play by Chance Kennedy, but they're going to have to get more than 5 yards.
And timeout called on the field.
So at the 24-yard line, it'll be 2nd and 5.
Tough to score points in a hurry if you're a team like Leuzinger. Don't really do much through the air.
Especially when you've gone through the turmoil that Leuzinger has the past 3 years, 2 years. And there's the new head coach again for Leuzinger, but boy, he's got a great attitude. Got a chance to visit with him before the game, as we all did. And still great to see all these fans out here, not only on the Hawthorne sideline, but Lou House filling the house.
Yeah, still filling the house. And you don't really see this much support for an 0-4 team, but obviously it's the Mayor's Cup. It's a big game and brought out a lot of people here tonight, even a few notable alums.
Split out to the far side is Carnell Coleman. Out of the eye, the pitch goes to Christie. Coleman with a nice block going around the edge. And a nice game, but not quite a first down with 1:01 left to go in the half. So at the 26-yard line. So all that for only 2 yards.
Yeah, Hawthorne takes another timeout, so they're going to try to get the ball back here. with just under a minute to play. And with their playmakers, obviously they can change things in a hurry.
Another timeout. And yeah, after 9 years, doesn't matter what's been going on here at campus, these Leuzinger Olympians don't want that Mayor's Cup to leave the trophy case in the cafeteria.
They don't. It's rested quite comfortably here since 2001, and don't want to give that thing up. Don't want to give it away, but in a situation right now, trailing 13-0 just before halftime.
So
somehow, some way, you got to find a way to put some points up on the board.
So the only one besides Rufus Washington that has seen the Mayor's Cup in Hawthorne's hands is maybe Tom Strickfad.
Perhaps Tom Strickfad.
Our producer, director, executive producer, and Grand Poobah.
He's seen it. He just said it. Just told us in our ear he's seen it.
Sure did. Boy, did I hear that. Oh, that's right. We saw Ray, the baby bull here. He's at Central Oklahoma now, knocking things down. Christie out of the backfield with a nice catch. Christie still on the run. Down inside the 35-yard line and goes out of bounds. Finally tripped out there by DeJean Gillespie. And with 43 seconds left, the Olympians have a shot at the goal line.
Clock, of course, is going to stop because he got out of bounds, and because it was a first down. You find him right here in the flat, makes a man miss. Now just nothing but green in front of him. Look at that move right there to pick up a few more yards before he's finally corralled and driven out of bounds. But you talk about getting the ball in the hands of your playmakers. Big play guys, big speed guys. These guys got to touch the football for you if you're Leuzinger in space.
A 43-yard pass and catch play by Delgado, and Christie, who gets the ball again. Christie gets around the edge after Chris Bailey missed a tackle and gets out of bounds. Is that a first down? It's going to be close.
Should be. I think he got it. And yeah, they're moving the
sure
chains.
Is. So Christie with an 11-yard gain. He has been missed a man for the Olympians.
And they go with the toss there that time. They try to get him on the outside. Nice block on the outside by those Olympian wide receivers. And it's one thing to get the ball in guys' hands. And it's another thing to get it to them in space where they're able to use that speed and to do some things with the football.
Was that Isaiah Brame on defense?
Looks like he's back in there.
And that is Crockett. And just looking around, yeah, that's Isaiah Brame. He's out there playing center field.
Timeout, Leuzinger.
Crockett loses a yard. So that Hawthorne defense starting to toughen up. And that's, there you see the defense there. And Jacobo finishing up on top where Eric Scott Davis will corral in the feet. Like that L on the side of the helmet there, the red L on
with the red L
on the blue. Looks good. L is good. Oh, we can use that maybe for the softball analyzation or
and there's Ray
equity.
right there.
Yep, okay.
Right in the middle of the screen.
Ray Westbrook bobbing the head up and down. He's got an internal iPod implanted in his brain, I think. Delgado is in trouble. Gets sacked. Oriel Gonzalez also in there.
And Olympians out of timeouts. So they're going to have to hurry up and try to rush to the line and get this play off. Referee's got to get the ball spotted. Running out of time here. 10 left.
Delgado back to pass, looking. Everybody's covered. Now throws it down the sideline. Man open is Crockett. And just in and out of the hands at the goal line. DeJean Gillespie again with good coverage. Also Singleton there and Stephen Gant, as that's the final play of the first half. And what an exciting first half here as Leuzinger not rolling over at all despite trailing 13-0. As Devin Christie is dejected out there at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that ball just went right in and out of the hands of Crockett. I think he was concerned about making sure he had his feet inbounds. And it was going to be a tough play to make up against the sideline. Delgado heaving it up there that time. He had Crockett there, and you see he had it and just lost it right out of his grasp.
Yeah, he was open as Gillespie had to make up ground.
Would not have been a touchdown regardless as time expired on that play. So
look at the discipline already as the Olympians going off 2 by 2 with their head coach at the head of the line going towards Lou House locker room.
There's some changes, definitely some changes around here.
And we're going to get a report down at the sideline in just a moment. And Brian Robert Taylor is downstairs.
Hey guys, here with Coach Ron Wilson. He's calling the plays tonight for Leuzinger. What are your thoughts? I mean, you're playing them pretty tough, you know, for you guys coming in with losing your head coach this week. Are you pretty happy with the first half, even though you're down 13-zip?
I'm very happy with the guys' performance right now. You know, they came in with a heavy heart, but, you know, the simple little mistakes is the only thing that's really holding us back from putting points on the board right now.
Absolutely. What do you want to happen? Obviously, you want to put some points on the board. You're moving the ball pretty well. What are you going to try to get the guys to do differently in the second half?
All I want them to do is keep their effort up and cut down on the mistakes, and I'll be happy.
Okay, thanks, Coach Wilson. I know you got to get back in there for halftime. We'll get back with you in just a minute. Thanks. All right. Listen, I got Mayor Hoffman here. I just wanted to get a couple comments on the game with him. Hey, Mayor Hoffman. It's, of course, the Mayor's Cup. What are your thoughts? Losing your team? I mean, you know, you got to be pretty proud. They are giving a valiant effort, even though they're down 13-zip, right?
They are working hard, and with the change of coaches and stuff, I think they're doing extremely well.
Absolutely. You're going to be on hand for the ceremony afterwards, right? Well, hopefully.
Yeah. If we have to present that trophy to Hawthorne, we'll do that, but we want to see our kids, both teams do well. I mean, we got kids from our neighborhood on both teams, so we want to work with those kids. Both of them, there's not going to be a loser here tonight.
You're absolutely right. These guys are both playing spirited ball. They're both winners in their own right. Okay, well, thanks so much, Mayor. We'll get back with you in just a minute. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Brian. And 13-0 is our score here, and we're going to have our stats and maybe some more guests when we come back for the second half kickoff right after this on Channel 22. I guess you could call this the reversal of fortune bowl because Hawthorne, after their 45-game loss got snapped last year, they are on a roll, 3-1 this year, and the Leuzinger Olympians are 0-9, or actually, 0-9 to this point, and haven't scored a touchdown in over 6 games. And it's 13-0. Let's go over some of the numbers. Hawthorne, Isaiah Brame, 66 yards on 4 carries and a touchdown, had a 20-yard run nullified, or actually had a 20-yard run the other way. And then Stephen Gant, 7 carries for 7 yards on 1 carry. And Larry Williams, 46 yards on 7 carries. Ricky Calderon, 4 out of 9 for 76 yards and a pick. And let's go over to the Leuzinger Olympians, where they've been running the ball as Devin Christie, 79 yards on 9 carries. And Delgado, 11 yards on 4 carries. Cololo, 43 yards on 4 carries. Winter Watts minus 1 yard on 1 carry. Courtney Crockett, 13 yards on 5 carries. Passing, Delgado, number 11, 2 out of 5 for 42 yards. And the big pass and catch of the day was by Devin Christie. He had 43 yards there as time was running out in the second quarter.
And Christie and Crockett have kind of been the go-to guys, I guess you could say, for Leuzinger in that first half. And you talked about it, a reversal of fortunes. 3 streaks that Coach K inherited. He broke 2 of them, and this is the last one to go. The first, of course, was the 45-game losing streak, and then there was the 22-game league losing streak, and then, of course, it was not having won a Mayor's Cup since 2001. 2 down, 1 to go if you're Coach K, and he's halfway there to accomplishing that 3rd one.
And the scoring drives, Isaiah Brame broke things open at the 54-second, actually the 2:40 mark, with a 60-yard run. The field at a point after touchdown was good. Calderon with a 1-yard run on a big 9-play, 74-yard drive, 13-0, as the PAT was no good, almost blocked. An interception by Ramaji Williams. Also a fumble on that drive, on another drive by Winter Watts. That was recovered by Bailey. A touchdown nullified on Hawthorne by Stephen Gant on a big run, a 19-yard run, and it could have been a lot worse.
There's a flag. This is interesting.
Somebody lined up offside.
Yeah, absolutely. Offside against Leuzinger.
Okay, so they had 35 yards in penalties.
You heard Coach talk about just the mistakes at halftime. I mean, obviously it's not an offensive mistake, but just a careless mistake. Coming right out of the locker room at halftime, these are things that you can ill for. You're talking about controlling field position perhaps here now with that penalty.
Lots of penalties against the Hawthorne Cougars as well, as this one's a squib kick. And it's picked up by Travion Pope. And this is going to go to about the 32-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Olympians, who are not out of this ball game by any means, Rashawn Haylock.
Absolutely not. They definitely have opportunity here. Very interesting that Coach K would elect to squib it there, especially with a 5-yard penalty.
Well, it didn't look like Alex Perez was on the kickoff, if I'm not mistaken, but I have been many times before.
Points, points, points. No turnovers if you're the Olympians.
So from the 37-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Olympians, as Delgado hands the ball straight off, and as Cololo gets across the 35-yard line, and a gaggle of Cougars finally bring him down. Gant is there. Also Bailey bring him down about the 37-yard line.
He's a load. Look at this. And he comes right here off the right side, stiff arms the guy. And most importantly, though, look how he covers up that football, though. Trying to get the extra yards, kind of took the handoff, but then he's holding it real high and tight with that left arm.
4 guys took him down. Cololo, again, burrowing his way, gets the first down up to the 45-yard line. No flags on the play.
The previous carry, he had about 3 or 4 guys trying to jar that ball loose. And he's holding it with just one arm, just the strength. Tremendous there. And then on this carry right here, guys coming in again, on every play.
There's a little bit of a hold.
Trying to get that ball loose, trying to jar it out of there, but Cololo not having none of that.
Oriel Gonzalez finally making the tackle. And the fullback Cololo again breaking a tackle at midfield, still on his feet, inside the 45-yard line. Rugby scrum inside the 40-yard line. Wow.
Alex Vasquez, the offensive lineman. Some 15 yards downfield after that, or in the middle of that run, continuing to push the pile, allowing Cololo to pick up another extra 5, maybe even 10 yards. As you see him there, great effort by Cololo. We've talked about him all night. And you look at the push here, and then you also see another push there. Right in there is number 55. And you can't see him because he's blocked out Vasquez. Nice job.
Delgado trying to fake everybody, but it didn't fake out Singleton.
And look out, he tried to pitch that one. It looked like he was going to try to get rid of that one with the pitch. You don't want to do that. Don't want any costly turnovers like Coach talked about right before the half.
So negative yardage there, a loss on the play of 2.
Look like, if I'm not mistaken, look like he wanted to try to shovel that.
Yeah, over to Christie. Christie was there, but then Jacobo might have taken it and run into the end zone the other way. Cololo, let's do it the safe way. Down to the 35-yard line. He's still on his feet. Look at that push by the offensive lineman. Still there helping him out. Wow, almost down to the 31-yard line.
And you said it. Wow, just the strength. One thing that never stopped was those legs. He just continued to keep those legs churning. They just continued to chug and churn. Look at him. He's still on his feet. Still on his feet.
Here come his buddies to help.
Looks like there's nowhere to go. Somehow he's able to break out of this scrum. And look at those legs. Look at his legs. He just keeps them going.
Kalulu couldn't get him down. Now Christie gets it, cuts inside. Christie gets hit once, and then Kalulu knocks the Kalulu out of him. He went for a Ferris wheel ride on that one down to the 25-yard line. Right in the mud hole.
And Christie saw a little crack there. He was going to try to break that one.
And it's a first down after a 7-yard gain. And that's the 10th carry for Christie here. But boy, there's the push again. And Robert Barbie, the big man, helping out for the Leuzinger Olympians. The big center hands the ball off to Christie. Delgado does. Slips one tackle, cuts back inside, and is finally caught around the 20-yard line. That's a tough way to make 5 yards. Inside the 20, just inside the 20-yard line.
They're going to stick to the bread and butter. They're going to keep it on the ground. And you see Christie here coming here. Look at pancake there by one of the offensive linemen. That's Soakai there picking up that nice pancake, but they're going to stick to what works, and why not? It's about finishing drives if you're losing. Or they've shown the propensity to be able to move the ball all night long.
Straight handoff up the middle to the fullback. And diving over center. And that was Sean Ellis Jr. His first carry of the ball game. As Kololo comes back in, a 6-yard gain down to the 16-yard line. Kololo down to the 16-yard line, so no gain. Good defense on the play by Hawthorne, and Medina Salam is there. Haven't really called his name a whole lot tonight.
Yeah, we haven't. Going back to Kololo, I mean, he's moving backwards here, but he still has those legs going. They can't take him down. I mean,
Chance and Jacoby there.
Incredible.
James Soakai couldn't keep the littler guys out. Look out. That big swipe on defense, but Christie was already in 5th gear by the time he hit the line. Gets down to the 14-yard line, and that's going to be good enough for a first down for Leuzinger.
And Christie doing a nice job on 4th down there. Picking up that first down. Saw a little bit of a crease, exploded right through it, got enough to pick up the first down. So under 7 to play here, they have it on the Hawthorne 14.
Did you see that big swipe from one of the linebackers come across the Leuzinger offensive line just as the ball was snapped, trying to knock the ball away from Delgado? Pitch goes to Christie. Wanted to go inside, came out, and pays hard for a couple of yards. Devin gets up a little slow as he's picked up by James Soakai, a 5'10", 290-pound junior.
He's got all these skilled players defensively on the outside. Hard to run all 4 of those guys if you're Christie. And he looks tired.
Big hit on the play by Xavier Clark, or excuse me, Xavier Clark. He corrected me earlier today.
He looks a little bit beat up too, does Christie.
Yeah, he's had the bulk of the carries on this drive. A flag on the play. Crockett slips away from one tackle, but not the other. Chris Bailey on the big tackle there. And let's see what the flag is. False start on Leuzinger.
You see Isaiah Brame in the backfield there. Didn't come up with the tackle, but slowed him up enough to force that cutback there, and then Bailey was able to finish Crockett off there. But
Christie and Delgado come over to talk to their offensive coordinator. Timeout on the field with 5:48 left to go.
Leuzinger.
In the 3rd quarter, and Leuzinger See if they can get into the end zone for the first time in 6 games, 6+ games.
You look at the season and the way it's gone for these Olympians so far this season. 35-0 loss to Santa Monica to start the season, 49-0 against Harvard Westlake, and then back-to-back road losses at Lakewood and at Culver City, 55-0 and 52-0 respectively. Not necessarily the way you want to start the season. No doubt the competition they played, though, is tremendous. Harvard Westlake, obviously a team that's looking to make some noise in that Western Division. And you also have Lakewood, a Pac-5 school, and then Culver City, whose offense has been like a machine so far throughout the non-league. Hawthorne is going to see them a little bit later on down the line.
That should be an interesting game. 3rd and 11. Crockett split wide to the near side, and Delgado, after the high snap, gets back to the line of scrimmage. But another flag on the play.
Another flag on the play. It's going to be a false start.
Another false start.
It's amazing. Amazing. And get the idea that it's kind of been like this, at least for the first 4 games of the season for Leuzinger. Move the ball, move the ball, move the ball. You get into opponent's territory, and then all of a sudden your offense just hits the brakes.
Right. That's when the confidence level goes down, the stress and tension level go up, and you shoot yourself in the foot.
And it is amazing. And credit Hawthorne's defense, but so far in this area of the field, Leuzinger has been his own worst enemy all night long.
And Leuzinger declines the penalty, so it'll be 4th and 11. And somebody moved on that one again. See the big offensive lineman come up out of the stance.
And it's going to be a false start charge to Leuzinger. But if this was, and the coach is going to go talk to the refs right now, officials right now about this. If this was, look, he's being baited here. And if this were junior college or college, maybe even NFL, maybe that call goes against the defense.
Might have been an offside, yeah. Could have gone either way, really, even in high school. But instead, it's going to be a long field goal attempt. 37-yard field goal attempt by Minikali Kabia. Out of the mud hole. Just wide to the left. But that was tough. That was a tough spot there.
It was.
If you have to clear the pigs out of the mud hole.
It was. And he gave it a ride. It was just a little bit too far wide to the left, but he definitely gave it a ride there that time.
After the 37-yard field goal goes awry, let's go down to Sebastian.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I know a lot of you were wondering how Isaiah Brain, Hawthorne wide receiver, was doing. I talked to Coach Aguilar coming out of the half. He said Isaiah's fine, just a little bit of bruised ribs. He got the wind knocked out of him. He's doing okay. On the other hand, this Hawthorne defense is playing magnificent. I mean, talk about Leuzinger in the first half, having some good running plays, over 140 yards, but still no points, guys. We'll see what happens.
All right, thank you very much, Sebastian. As the handoff was made and Ricky Calderon was ripped by Sloan Taviatiana after he handed off the ball. As we see Larry Williams get past the line of scrimmage and to the 22-yard line. So a 6-yard gain, it'll be 2nd down and 4. And hitting the mud hole is Stephen Gant to the 30-yard line. It'll be close to a 1st down, but they spot the ball at the 29, so it'll be 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, it's dangerous. We've seen players had issues with footing pretty much all night, especially towards this side of the field, this particular area. But not as bad as this. Again, he just loses footing there completely.
7-yard gain for Steven, who has 2 carries now for 14 yards, has a catch for 7 yards, so he's rolling 7s. Paul Fuller split wide to the near side here. And there's some contact. That's going to be offside. Pasetti Tukuatu hit the Hawthorne offensive lineman, and that's offside.
Hard count there by Calderon. Nice job by the junior quarterback.
So it's offside. They'll pick up the 5 yards, and that'll be a first down for Hawthorne. There you see the replay. Bang.
And it's tough to get guys on a hard count when you're out of the pistol or out of the shotgun, but that one leg movement right there by Calderon, along with whatever he said, was able to draw Leuzinger offside.
Should be 1st and 10, and the handoff goes to Williams, breaks one tackle, and slipping out of other tackles, and is finally taken down by Travion Pope at the 44-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd down and about 1. At the 43-yard line, we'll call it. Look at him slip tackles there.
And you got Brame, who has all the moves, and Bailey, who's no doubt a star. Gant, your big play threat downfield, and then you have this guy, Larry Williams, who's just Mr. Steady Eddie. I mean, he's not going to try to juke you out of your shoes. Just comes right at you, runs the ball so hard.
Trips to the near sideline. Sends a man in motion. That's Bailey. He'll get the... Oh! Drops the ball after the handoff. It's still loose. Kololo coming to pick it up. Kicks it around. It's still loose. And did Kololo finally get on top of it? Kololo did. And now, oh boy, Bailey is beside himself on the field at the 21-yard line. And look at this. Leuzinger's knocking on the door at the 21.
And Kololo's down.
Oh, man. Ankle. Let's watch the recovery there as Kololo outdoes. Now, somebody just tell Kololo just to sit down, because now he's trying to get off the field, and he is hurting. He came off under his own power, and that's too bad.
He's hurt. He's tough. And you see a guy like that in pain, you know it's got to be excruciating. I mean, he's tough. It doesn't take a genius to figure out he's one of the toughest guys on the team.
Well, you know, probably one of the toughest guys in the region here in CIF.
But
we'll keep an eye on him.
Obviously shaking up there. He wanted so bad for a scoop and score there that time. Just wouldn't get that football to cooperate.
So Christie gets the ball, and the Cougars got their fur up on their back. And Christie gets back to, well, he gets a loss on the play of about 3 yards.
Yeah, Salam there along with Kennedy as well. Stephen Gann up in there as well. As Christie really had nowhere to go. Swallowed him up in the backfield.
So there you see Kololo. Leauma Kololo on the ground. Checking him out. 1:47, clock running left in the third quarter, out of the eye. Crockett to the near side, looking at blitz, and now the fullback is number 42, Sean Ellis Jr., and he burrows his way back to the original line of scrimmage at the 21. So just a gain of 3 yards on the play.
They're right there in that soft spot of the field, though. You see it after the handoff, or as he was handing the ball off, Delgado kind of tripped, lost his footing there a little bit. And they're right there in that rough spot too, especially you look at that right side of that offensive line.
Yeah, it's not like it's been raining here a whole lot, but they practice here as this throw is almost picked off. And that's by Isaiah Brame. What a huge defensive play by Isaiah Brame. And that was a pass to Carnell Coleman.
They're working on these slants during pregame, and that ball right off the fingertips of the receiver at that time. But if you're Delgado, you got to put a little bit more on that ball. You got on the slant, you got to zip it in there, and he threw it just a little bit too soft that time, and it went right off the fingertips.
So now from the other hash mark, Delgado will hold the ball for Cabilla. Snap back, ball down, kick is up, and it looks like it is good. The first points in 6 games for the Leuzinger Olympians with 59 seconds left to go in the third. It's 13-3, and Leuzinger finally gets something out of it. They got it out of that fumble, and Minkailu Kabia with the big 37-yard field goal. That was perfect.
How about Kabia? I mean, the last field goal he had, or he attempted rather, was just a little bit too wide, but he had good leg on it. That time, even better leg on it as he splits the uprights. As you mentioned, their first points of the season, first points in 6 games, if you go back to last season.
4 plays minus 1 yard, though. But it doesn't matter.
Not the way you drew it up, but it results in some points, and I think that's the most important thing for these Olympians. You got to try to find these little wins wherever you can. I know you've heard me talk about this forever, partner, but it's true. You have to. And most importantly, they were able to make Hawthorne pay for their mistake there by getting those 3 points off of a turnover.
Kabia with a short pooch kick, and Bailey gets it at the 30-yard line. Looks for his blockers, and here he comes. Has Brame, a nice block by Brame to release him into midfield. And out of bounds at the sideline, maybe just inbounds at the 50-yard line. What a nice, comfortable run back for Chris Bailey and the Hawthorne Cougars to get the ball at midfield. And now Isaiah Brame coming up lane.
And they tried to go with the little pooch kick there, but Bailey, nice over-the-shoulder catch, and he just took it. Ran it all the way across the field. Had some nice blocks and was able to get to midfield. I thought for a second there he might have been able to take that one all the way, partner.
It was close. So Calderon brings him out into the pistol formation, and yeah, good thing Fuller stepped back a bit. He was lined up off sides. Calderon hands it off to Williams. Williams into the backfield. Williams down to the 30-yard line. And Travion Pope with a possible touchdown saving run after the 20-yard run by Larry Williams.
And you talk about it, they just come at you. I described this young man as Mr. Steady earlier. I mean, not much to him. Not any false movements. He just gets it and runs downhill.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line after the 19-yard run by Stephen Williams. Fuller split to the near side. Out of the shotgun, handoff goes directly to Williams. And Williams is taken down by Soa Kai. Grabbed him by the t-shirt, spun him down. And that's going to do it for the third quarter, but stop the presses as Leuzinger finally gets 3 points on the board. It's 13-3 as we go to the fourth quarter. Let's go down to Brian.
Hi, guys. As I say, we're into the third quarter. Finally, Leuzinger is, of course, on the board. We got a field goal. It's 13-3. They're playing him tough. I talked to Coach Aguilera right before the end of the third quarter. He's saying, you know what, we're just killing ourselves with mental mistakes and those penalties, obviously. He's telling these guys to clean up their act. Quick injury report, number 37. Lua Kalela, he's okay. It was a bad cramp. We were afraid maybe it was some kind of knee injury, but he's going to be fine. He's going to be back in the game shortly. Thanks, guys.
Oh, no, thank you, Brian. And as we go to the fourth quarter, that is terrific news. As Leuma Kololo, the junior running back, who's been doing it on both sides of the ball for the Olympians, and hopefully he'll be back in the ball game. We'll kind of check things out here. That looked like a world-class cramp, that's for sure. As is Kololo coming back on the field? Yep, there he is.
Yeah, back in there.
There he goes, running across your screen, right there. That's good news.
I mean, the young man runs so tough, runs so hard, and it's forced, obviously, on both sides of the football, but his running tonight has been tenacious.
Typical of the Samoan Warriors we've seen for so many years. And just doing everybody proud here at Leuzinger High School and wreaking havoc against everybody else. Calderon with the handoff, and That is Eric Scott Davis. He got a couple of yards down to the 29. Actually, we'll give him a long one. And it'll be 3rd down and long.
Somebody's down.
And that looks like Cololo again, possibly. Maybe came back a little too soon. Yep.
Yeah, it is him.
That's that cramp, and that's got to be in the calf area because he's grabbing right above his knee. And if that gets in your calf and right behind the knee, ouch. That's like a bulldog grabbing a hold of you back there and not letting go, thinking you might be a lamb chop or something.
Yeah, it definitely got him that time. I mean, he just couldn't even get up after that play. If you ever experienced a cramp, boy, like you said, it's like a bulldog just
going after a tennis ball.
Going after you, just won't let go.
Well,
it was a little
talking about the Warrior there. Maybe the Warriors should have taken this battle off.
It's a little warm today, not too hot, but pretty cool night. But you still got to stay hydrated.
Kind of sneaky weather today.
Yeah.
Started off cool, got nice and warm. But boy, I tell you, this is, even though this was slated not to be a competitive game tonight, considering all things considered, this has really turned into a bulldog fight.
It has. It has. And credit Leuzinger for coming out here.
The first drive.
Yeah, and playing hard tonight. I mean, so many things against these young men, and obviously the turmoil with a coaching change in the middle of the week. You know, so tough circumstances for them. And I mean, everybody pretty much saying it was all but a foregone conclusion that Hawthorne was going to come in here and spank them, but they've definitely come in here and responded and played with some heart.
What about the opening drive by Leuzinger? They took 7 minutes, and a 37-yard field goal attempt before that, or in that drive, was no good because that was right in the mud hole. But then a 37-yard field goal just before the kickoff here in the third quarter.
Their defense
resulted in 3 points, so they're getting close.
Yeah. Their defense has played well tonight, but their offense has been a great defense for them as well. Being able to run the ball and being able to run effectively, they've eaten up a lot of clock, and in doing so, you keep guys like Brame and Bailey from being able to touch the ball and being able to sustain any type of drives or form any type of a rhythm offensively.
Cololo comes off with 37 yards in 5 carries just in the third quarter. He had 4 carries for 43 yards in the first half. Being taken off, helped off the field by one of his teammates, a couple of his teammates. Well, can you imagine the love for that kid? So taking over is the Hawthorne offense as we get back into it. Be a 3rd down and 9 for Ricky Calderon, as the TV crew's got to get their cables off the field. Good call by the head linesman. Calderon back to pass, going for the sideline, the fade route, and that's out of bounds, just out of reach of Isaiah Brame.
And a nice coverage there. They wanted a flag there. Obviously a lot of contact up against that far sideline, but ball was thrown well out of bounds, so not even necessarily a catchable ball. But you look at the contact there, just a wrestling match up against that far sideline. Yeah, Pope there going mano-a-mano with Brame.
You got Isaiah Brame, who's 6'1", 180, and the pounding Pontiff, 5'9".
There's obviously a height advantage with these wide receivers for Hawthorne.
Calderon going the other way and tripping, and now we got a flag, and that was Stephen Gant.
Yeah, he was manned up. He was locked up one-on-one against Warren that time, and Warren just grabbed his jersey, lost sight of the football, and just grabbed his jersey, had a hold on him. That's going to be a pass interference every single time.
So 15 yards on a penalty there. So that's 30 yards and penalty for Leuzinger. And there it was. 2 flags come out there. So that'll go down to around the 16-yard line.
It's dangerous because a lot of these situations,
and a first down.
With the coverages Leuzinger are playing, they're putting their DBs in a lot of one-on-one situations. Warren, a safety there that time, he was locked up one-on-one with Gant, who was in the slot.
Gant and Bailey to the near side, Fuller to the right, to the left, excuse me, and now being pounded is Isaiah Brain. And that was big Tylen Huff, 295-pounder.
It seems like we haven't called his name in a long time. And it's been a long time since he's had a touch. You know, he went out of the game, was a little bit banged up, but that time he gets it on the carry. And
credit to Vatiana with the assist there, as he made Isaiah cut right into the big waiting arms of Tylen Huff. Out of the pistol, Williams gets the handoff, and look at that defense trying to stop Williams. Real estate's real hard there, as there is a whole gang of Leuzinger Olympians stopping Williams, who may have gotten it back to the line of scrimmage, just barely.
There's going to be a timeout on the field. We got another Leuzinger Olympian down. As you take a look at Williams here trying to break tackles. He did a nice job breaking one there. Nice job staying on his feet. But one thing Leuzinger has done well tonight, that's gang tackle.
Sloan Tayone Tavatiana is on the ground now. And Pasetti Tukutau was the man making the tackle. So the interior linemen are starting to do well, and here comes Kololo back on the field. Maybe got a few sips of some hydration drink, and now Tavatiana may be suffering the same fate.
You know, oftentimes coaches that have sunflower seeds down there on the sideline for times like this. They give them the players in case they're cramping up, allow them to absorb all that salt.
No salt pills?
No salt pills.
That's what we used to get, and we used to like, they say, take this and like it.
Was it any good?
No. Some of us would lose what we had before the game, and maybe the day before, from the heels.
Wow.
And that was instead of water. Now it's you
at
have
least
to
give
stay
you
hydrated.
something to wash it down with.
Well, you had saliva in your mouth at that time.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Tough
also
time.
want to say hello to our head basketball coach here in PA, guy. As long as we got a timeout, so what's going on there, Coach? How's things going on the hardwood?
Things are going good. We got a lot of guys back from last year. We've been working hard since season got out. A lot of spring games, a lot of summer games. Boys are really excited to get going.
And then you also coached the Tracksters, the Olympian Tracksters, in the springtime. How was that?
It was great. And actually what it did, it brought my basketball coaching to another level because we do have these young and fast guys. We're getting up and down that court a lot quicker this year than we were last year.
So are you gonna see some guys doing a lot of hopping on the hardwood?
Yeah, we hope so.
Long jumping?
Yeah, we're doing some long jumping, high jumping, and sprinting. It's going to be a fast-paced game this year for the Olympians.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. So you were a little bit concerned that you might be called out here to call some X's and O's.
No, we leave the coaching for the football coaching to the football coaches. This is their thing. We got a good staff out there, some good young kids, and things are going to turn around for us right here.
All right, Coach, thanks. And not only that, you got to be a multitasker here at Lou House because he's the PA announcer too, and he's doing a great job.
Fantastic job, Coach Parvaz.
9:59 left to go in the fourth quarter. And Larry Williams cuts across down to the 12-yard line. So the real estates get a little tougher to find. So Tavatiana coming off the field, and high snap. But Calderon doing a good job. So let's see, they're gonna go for it on 4th and 10? Or excuse me, 4th and 6? They're gonna go for it.
Going for it.
Gonna try to put this game a little bit further out of reach. Calderon out of the pistol, a wide receiver screen out of the slot, little bubble screen. And man, Cololo almost intercepted that one.
He did. He almost was able to pick that one off. He got his hand on it, and I think he probably deflected it, and pass was caught. And once it was got in the hands of Bailey, he had nowhere to go. He slipped and fell on that one. So big stop, deep in their own territory for the Olympians. How about Cololo fighting back from those cramps?
Literally. Now it turns over on down, no gain.
And you take a look at the Mayor's Cup. That's what they're playing for. That
Beautiful
is it.
trophy.
It's been on the Leuzinger sidelines for so long. And that slant thrown just a little bit behind the receiver. I believe Delgado was looking for Crockett there that time. And they've worked on that, continued to work on that. That's something that they want to do in the passing game, is work on shorter, quicker routes.
Well, somebody zipped Delgado. I wonder if we could see that replay one more time, guys. Because Delgado, let's see who went after him here. Bam.
He got hit.
Might have been Jacobo, the middle linebacker. Handoff to Christie. Christie gets up to the 15-yard line. So talk about tough real estate. The defense toughening up for Hawthorne. They want to keep Leuzinger pinned in deep in their own territory. Just a 3-yard gain for Christie.
So tough to come back from any type of deficit when so much you do is primarily on the ground. I mean, you're going to eat up clock that way. And the clock, especially late in the game like this, not your friend.
3rd down and 8 yards to go for Leuzinger. 8:27 and counting left in the 4th quarter. Pitch goes to Christie, blocked by Cololo on Kennedy. And he gets free, and a big, big gain for Christie. Let's see if there's any flags down. There's not.
No flag, but close, partner.
Yeah.
Close to being a block in the back here on this near sideline. I was waiting for the official to throw the flag, but they say the Hawthorne defender was blocked right up on his side. You can hit him on the side, but not on the back. But even sometimes when you hit him on the side, they'll throw the flag for clipping. You see Christie get around the edge here.
Right
and then
there.
you see that block right there, almost a block in the back. And I also thought Christie may have stepped out of bounds, but picked up enough for the 1st down.
20-yard gain for Christie, his biggest gain of the half. And Cololo gets the ball, and barely. He's still on his feet as he sheds the big lineman, Kuluni, the defensive end, and now Bailey is slow to get up off the bottom of the pile. Isaiah Brame helping his pal up. So that's at the 37-yard line. Looks like Bailey might have got his hand stepped on. So a 2-yard gain for Cololo. And it'll be 2nd down, actually a 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7.
Bailey's favoring that left ankle, noticeable limp.
And Christie gets out of a tackle and finally spun out of bounds, but not before he gets outside the 40-yard line, right at the 40-yard line.
And point out Tyler Singleton on that play, because his penetration had Christie running east and west. And you look at Singleton in the backfield there. Or check that, Singleton was the one that ended up coming up with the tackle. But there was a defender all the way in the backfield that was able to.
That was Clark.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, you're right. That was Singleton, and Clark was the one who knocked him out of bounds.
Able to have Christie running east and west, not able to turn that corner as soon as he wanted to.
So a big 3rd and 5, and a 1st down for the Leuzinger Olympians. They're just pounding it out as that was Sean Ellis Jr. for the big run, all the way to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, Ellis Jr. surprised there that time. I don't think anybody expected the ball to go to the big fullback that time. A large hole for him to run through, and picked up the 1st down there.
And they've been chewing up clock again. 7:10 left to go in the fourth quarter. Christie picking his way through. Christie has one man to beat. He's off to the races. Down to the 20, 10. Knocked out of bounds by Singleton at the 5.
Touchdown saving tackle there by Singleton, but that run gets this crowd in a frenzy.
First and goal for the Olympians at the 6. Sorry about that,
A lot of the talking was amongst each other. Now they're jumping up and down and screaming for Devin Christie. You take a look, he gets the sweep here coming off this near side. And he was able to make that cut right there. That found him some daylight, broke it back to the outside, and almost turned it.
Now Delgado going over right guard, trying to get towards the end zone, gets down to about the 3-yard line. So it'll be second and goal after the 3-yard gain by Justin Delgado. Quick count, or quick huddle. Gonna do it again. Handoff up the middle, and burrowing through into the end zone. Touchdown, Leuzinger.
How about that, huh? How about that? It's not over yet, partner. Still got a whole lot more time left. 6:33 left here at the Lou House. Delgado gets the Olympians into the end zone for the first time this season. You take a look at the second effort there on the quarterback sneak. First attempt was stopped, but the second effort there got the extra penetration. They're into the end zone.
So now the Olympians, they don't know what to do. They haven't been here in 9 games as special teams. What the heck's going on? I'll tell you what, Kabia trying to tap on the extra point, and it does not even reach the goalpost. But with 9:33 or 6:33 left to go in the game, 13-9 in favor of the Cougars. But now the Olympians are really fired up.
And that's huge. That extra point there that's missed is huge, because instead of it being a 3-point game, it's now a 4-point game. So Leuzinger, of course, if they get a stop, will have no choice but to get into the end zone. A field goal at least would have been able to tie.
So now a 3-yard touchdown run by Delgado after the big 40-yard run by Christie to set it up. So now Kabia trying to get it on, but here, what about the block by Chiemiziem Ianocho? He had the big block.
Big block, yeah, absolutely. And credit these guys all night. I mean, you can't run without having the support and the blocking that they've had all night long, and they've done a great job.
Kabia's kick gets to the 22-yard line, and it'll go out of bounds there. And we'll see if Hawthorne wants him to kick it over or not. But man, Hawthorne had a chance and didn't take it. Went on 4th instead of going for the field goal. They went for the touchdown and turned it back over on downs.
And Leuzinger took advantage of it. That's twice this half that they've scored off of Hawthorne turnovers. That one, the last one, a turnover on downs, of course. But that's 9 points off of Hawthorne turnover so far tonight for the Olympians.
Cololo recovering the fumble by Chris Bailey. So the Cougars do force the Olympians to kick the ball over again. $88-yard drive, 9 plays. And that took 2.5 minutes.
And all set up by that huge run by Christie.
So turnovers, uncharacteristic turnovers by the Cougars. And here comes the kickoff by Kabia. And it spirals down to the 21-yard line, 25-yard line, picked up by Brain. Brain looking for his seam. Breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, spins away from another, down to the 40-yard line, is caught from behind, and finally mugged down by Clarence Zayala. Dakari Pichel held on to him for dear life. And let's see how Isaiah's doing as he gets up slow all the way down to the 36-yard line. He picked that up where, at the 25?
And that's that ace in the hole. And you talk about Purcell, he just grabbed onto his leg and just held on for dear life. As you take a look at Brand, picked it up right at the 24-yard line, partner, and took off. Look at this hole right here. Nice job, broke the tackle there. Talk about it, him being able to just break tackles. He runs with those knees so high. And reminiscent of the way Roger Craig used to do it back in his days with the 49ers. Hard to take down. Oh, ball's loose.
Ball is loose. Let's see. Hawthorne may have it back at the 38-yard line after a 38-yard kickoff return by Isaiah Brame. He just throws the rule book out the window.
He does.
And goes.
And you take a look at the fumble. Calderon fumbled the snap there, but wow, how close was Leuzinger getting to recovering that? Tyone Tavatiana had his hand right there, but Calderon was able to corral it and bring it in close to him.
Under 6 minutes left to go. Spread offense. Under center is Calderon. Hands the ball off to Williams. Williams breaking through. Williams down close to the 25-yard line. And this is going to be a close measurement. It might be a first down. It is.
He got enough for it. And
going to call that a 12-yard gain.
Mr. Consistency. And we talked about him all night. Not as much flash or star power as some of the other guys, but number 22 just gets the job done.
Steady. He's the Volkswagen Bug, and Isaiah Brame is the Ferrari. First and 10 from the 26. Calderon on the reverse. Gets it to Isaiah Brame. Isaiah trying to outrun, but can't get out of the clutches of Winter Watts. But a flag on the play at about the 20-yard line. So the run went inside the 15 to the 14-yard line for a 12-yard gain, but is that a hold?
Legal block in the back against Leuzinger.
Let's see if we can find it.
Now Warren is slow to get up in that secondary for Leuzinger. And he has a noticeable limp. As you take a look at Brame here. And somebody has their hands up right there. I couldn't see what the number was, but that's usually the guilty culprit. Usually if you put your hands up and say you didn't do anything, normally you did something. His defense for Leuzinger has been solid all night long.
First and 15 from the 32-yard line of Leuzinger. 4:59 left to go in this one. Calderon hands it straight off to Williams. Has lots of running room. Stutter steps, still on his feet. Back down to about the 15-yard line. Larry Williams showing some terrific moves there and found himself in wide open spaces and almost stopped like, where are they getting hit? But some more yellow laundry out there. Let's watch this run.
It's going to be a personal foul charge to Leuzinger. Winter Watts came in there. But take a look at his offensive line. 3 pancakes at least by that offensive line. And it opened up that hole for Williams. And it's just him against linebackers and him against the secondary players. And usually the running back is going to find some space and to be able to churn out some heavy yardage. But they're going to get Winter Watts here on a personal foul. He came in there late after the play was over and pushed a Hawthorne player in the back. And 2 officials caught him. And he got a flag thrown against him, a 15-yarder.
Personal foul inside the 10-yard line to the 7-yard line. So it'll be first and goal for Hawthorne. Calderon gives it to Larry Williams. Why not? He deserves it. But he runs into the Olympian barrier there and loses his hat. One of the Olympians, Trevion Pope, put the hammer on him and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
I mean, he runs hard, doesn't he? He takes it here on the outside. You see they try to come in and get the strip, but unable to do so. I mean, he's not letting go of that ball. He might lose his helmet, but you're not getting that football from him.
That's right. John Quinto with the tackle there, along with Pope. was that Thailand Huff. Let's call his number on the tackle as well as Pope. So it'll be 2nd and goal. Ball is handed off to Scott Davis. Scott Davis trying to get some running room, but then the blue tide comes flowing over Eric Scott Davis down to the 5-yard line. A 2-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. So how tough has this Olympian defense been late in the game inside their own red zone?
They've been real tough. They've been tough there all night long. Every time they've had their backs pinned up against them, they somehow came up with an answer. And you take a look at it. This is the dash. He comes in and shakes and bakes and dashes and darts a little bit. Our man Eric Scott Davis, and
Warren.
nowhere to go there. Warren came in there from his safety spot and made the tackle.
Calderon checks everything out of the spread. Fake handoff. Williams gets him, but man, what a vicious hit by Passetti Tukutau.
Huge play. I mean, as soon as the ball got handed off to him, Williams, he was greeted immediately. I mean, look at this. And you don't even have time to breathe there. As he gets hit face to face.
Boy.
And goes down in the backfield on a loss.
So it's 4th down now and 10. 4th and goal from the 10. And will Hawthorne go for it? It's a 2-possession game no matter how you slice it for Leuzinger. Or are they going to go for the field goal?
Looks like they're going to go for it. Leuzinger Olympians, players on the field as well as on the bench, coaches included, imploring these fans to get up.
That's right. Out of the pistol. Calderon. Fake handoff, takes it himself. Calderon inside the 5. Does he get into the end zone? Yes! Touchdown Hawthorne. A penalty flag up in the air, but after Calderon scored the 10-yard touchdown run with 1:55 left in the game, and that could be a personal foul.
And I think it may go against Calderon for spiking it. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Hawthorne.
You're absolutely right.
He spiked
but does
it.
the touchdown count? Was it after? Nope, I guess not. They're bringing it back.
Oh, wow.
There's Calderon getting through. Don't think so. The touchdown did not count. So there is the spike. There's the penalty. They took the touchdown away on the unsportsmanlike
Well, let's
conduct.
see. They're into it.
Or maybe that's the extra point. Right. Well, I don't know, because that sure is far back. That's all the way back to the 17-yard line. And now a timeout is called by Hawthorne. Maybe if one of our sideline reporters can talk to one of the officials, we can get this straightened out.
You know, it appears that the touchdown did count, because they would have had it at the 2. 15-yard penalty would have put it back there at the 17. But the thing that's throwing us off is the 4th down marker opposite us.
Right.
He's still holding that up.
So we're not real clear here. So it should be 19-9.
Because you know, in college football they changed that rule. If you get an unsportsmanlike, they wipe the touchdown off. So unclear of what the rule here is at the high school level. And
so now Aguilar's out there talking to the officials. And let's find out, maybe Sebastian Spencer
and he's saying
has
the
a
touchdown
ruling.
is good.
Okay. Let's go down to Sebastian right now.
Thanks a lot, guys. That touchdown called back by Hawthorne, by Ricky Calderon, the quarterback, spiking the ball down. That rule went into effect this year. That's unsportsmanlike conduct, and you cannot do that. Back to you guys.
But then Coach Aguilar just motioned to the press box that the touchdown was good. All right, snap back, ball down. Look out, they're going to go for 2 now, as Bailey has one man to beat and just does not get in. 2-point saving tackle by Courtney Crockett.
I think the telltale sign to be right here. If they kick it off, then of course.
Right. If they kick it off, then we know that it was a touchdown. But what a touchdown-saving tackle, or a 2-point or a touchdown-saving tackle by Courtney Crockett. That was a good fake by the Cougars and Chris Bailey. So now the coaching staff for Leuzinger is talking to the umpire, Phil Jenks.
They're kicking it off.
And they're going into kickoff mode, going into special teams mode, so, okay.
54 remaining in the game. Score Hawthorne 19, Leuzinger 9.
Hey, it's the Mayor's Cup. Anything can happen, right?
Anything can happen. We never really got a signal there. And what Sebastian was saying was something we were just talking about just now, but very interesting.
So a 38-yard drive. And that was 7 plays. And that took 4.5 minutes. Capped off by Calderon's 10-yard touchdown run and a wild one.
And we didn't even get to talk about Calderon's touchdown run. There's Christie.
And now Christie with the return off of Perez's kick gets straightened up, but still gets across the 40-yard line to about the 43, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Leuzinger Olympians, who have to score twice now, 2 touchdowns with 1:43 left to go. A touchdown and an onside kick could do it, but let's watch Christie's run back.
You see Christie break this one. He tried to break it to the outside and did a nice job. I mean, he's broken quite a few tackles tonight too. And not the biggest guy in the world, listed as 5'7", but he can maneuver and shake and jive as well.
Delgado keeps it, looking for some running room, being spread out. Finally, he's able to turn the corner after being chased around by Salam and gets to midfield.
And you see what he did there? He got out of bounds, partner. And that's the most important thing. You know, the clock is not your friend right now. Down by 2 possessions, under 2 minutes to play here in this football game. You got to stop the clock, and Delgado does a nice job of doing that.
Great blocking up front by the Leuzinger offensive line. Salam just couldn't catch him, and here comes Jacobo. Jacobo got a nice little block, and then finally was ushered out of bounds by Stephen Gant. Delgado throws it on the flat and just flat out misses Carnell Coleman. Again, somebody just missing an assignment there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he lost that ball in the lights or what. Delgado did a nice job of putting it there. It just went right off of his hands.
Well, it's been a while since Leuzinger's been in this position where they have to be in a hurry-up offense. So they've shown a lot of grit and a lot of heart just to stay this close after looking at the scores from the previous 4 games this season. And Coleman better look out. He almost lined up offside. Delgado throwing it downfield, has a man open. That's Crockett, but it's picked off. Picked off by Chris Bailey, and that could all but do it. And that was a beautiful pass and almost a beautiful catch, as Crockett just couldn't get it. As Chris Bailey was playing very, very deep.
Hey, Bailey, as you said, back there playing center field. And he just went up there and got it.
Yeah, see, Crockett would have had it on the run.
Yeah, Crockett actually had Brain beat there that time. But Bailey was right there playing that, had that safety over the top. And now they're going to head for the exits here at Leuzinger.
So 1:19 left in the game. And 1 minute and 19 seconds away from history.
And you got to give this Leuzinger team some credit, though. They came in giving up just under 48 points per game. And they held this Hawthorne team so far to 19 and even scored 9 points of their own, as Calderon just takes a knee here.
At the 20-yard line, back to the 19. And then just have to do it one more time, maybe 2. And Chris Bailey getting people on and off. to help out. Coming onto the field now in a wide receiver position is Colby Mandel. So they'll have to do it one more time. So history is about to be made in 30 seconds. The Mayor's Cup will move across town from Leuzinger High School. It has almost gotten into middle school. 9 years here at Leuzinger High School. And that should do it with 17 seconds left. Calderon takes a knee. And the 2011 Mayor's Cup is going to be won by the Hawthorne Cougars after a valiant effort by these Leuzinger Olympians. There it is. The Hawthorne sideline and the crowd over there in jubilation. They're going to put the Mayor's Cup on the bus with a big 19-6 win, 19-9 win over the Leuzinger Olympians, and they have nothing to be ashamed of here at Lou House. What a game put on here. They just ripped everything open, and all their guts are out here on the field as all these kids have grown up with each other, and a lot of pride as Courtney Crockett has just been driven to tears after that loss. And now everybody, this is probably one of the best moments as they all get together after a hard-fought game and knocking heads for a couple hours, 2.5 hours, and they shake each other's hands and wish each other well in league. There you see Coach K bringing the trophy back home to Hawthorne. Well, it's been home here at Leuzinger in Lawndale. And I wonder if Mayor Hoffman even remembers how to do this. Give it up. I don't think so, but a huge second half by Larry Williams on the ground, keeping things away. Had 2 huge runs of 19 and 20 and 12 yards as he had 7 carries in the second half. Now let's go down to the field.
Hey, thanks a lot, Lou. I'm down here with Mayor Hoffman of Lawndale and also Coach K, the rest of the Hawthorne football team. For the first time since 2001, this Mayor's Cup will be going to Hawthorne. Mayor Hoffman, take it away.
Hey, we're glad today. Even though I'm the mayor of Lawndale, I want to congratulate you guys for being what you are. 9 years ago, we took this as Leuzinger. We took this home and we kept it for all those years. But we're glad that we can present this to you guys that's worked so hard over those years and tonight. In tonight's game, you was fantastic. And we appreciate, not only because I'm from Lawndale and your mayor isn't here, but I'm here speaking for your mayor now. That city of Hawthorne is proud of you guys and your game tonight. Let me tell you, here it is.
All right. 89 yards and 15 carries for Larry Williams. And there goes Chris Bailey, who had the interception to pretty much put the icing on the cake. And what a hard-fought game it was. These Leuzinger Olympians have nothing to be ashamed of. Now let's go down to Rashawn.
Coach K, you came into when you took this job, you inherited 3 streaks. 45-game losing streak, the 22-game league losing streak, and of course this one hadn't beat these guys in 10 years. All 3 of them are gone now since you've taken over. How does it feel?
And it feels great just because these kids have worked so hard. They believed, they worked hard this week. They knew the task in front of them. I mean, this Leuzinger team is a very good team. Number 5 is an amazing football player. We knew that all week. We give him his props. He did what he was going to do. And, we just came out ahead. But, man, that team is tough and physical. My hat's off to them. They're a lot better team than people think. 0-4 does not give them any credit because those were 4 tough teams that they lost to. That's a decent team, and they're going to get things going.
You talked about the tough schedule that they played. They gave up an average of 47 points per game coming into tonight. Everybody thought you guys would just steamroll over them. Talk a little bit about what they were able to do to kind of slow down your playmakers tonight.
Well, you know what? It's a rivalry game. And no matter what you see on film or what you think of a kid, he's going to come out and play hard in a rivalry game, and that's just what they did. They didn't do anything different than we game planned. They just came out and hit us in the mouth. That was it. I mean, they were physical, and my hats go off to them. I mean, they played us to the end. I mean, really, it was to the end. We could have done a couple of different things, but you know, that's hindsight is 2020. We win 19-9 or whatever it was, and we're going home with the Mayor's Cup.
And last thing for you, I know you got to run. This is it now for the non-league. You talked about Beverly Hills coming up next week. Ocean League play is starting. How do you feel like you guys are heading into Ocean League play?
You know, again, we're peaking. That's in our schedule. That's one of the tougher teams. It's Leuzinger. It's a tough week. This is a great preview for what we're going to do against in the Ocean League. We're going to work hard, and we'll see what happens. You know, we get Beverly, then Morningside, and then Culver. So after the third week, we'll know where we stand, you know.
Hey, congratulations again, Coach. That's Coach K. Hawthorne winning the Mayor's Cup for the first time since 2001 as they knock off Leuzinger here at the Lou House, 19-9 tonight, Lou. I'll be up there to join you in a bit.
All right, thanks a lot, pal. A terrific job by you and Sebastian and Brian Taylor, and everybody's kind of drifted off here. As boy, they're still over on the sideline there, the Hawthorne faithful here wanting to take a look at that Mayor's Cup. Most of them haven't seen that. It's been gone for over 2 class generations, 9 years. Mayor Hoffman is looking pretty empty coming off the field without that mayor's trophy in his hand. With one of the councilmen coming off, and don't look dejected because, boy, what a terrific game it was. And this is the best Mayor's Cup game we've experienced in quite a while as the Hawthorne Cougars defeat the Leuzinger Olympians 19-9. Here's some numbers. Leuzinger Olympians, the big gun Devin Christie had 157 yards and 18 carries. And then it was big number 37, Leauma Kalolo, and he had 82 yards and 10 carries. And boy, he's going to be one sore young man come tomorrow. And we'll go over the Hawthorne Cougars numbers right after we talk to Brian Taylor.
Okay, tough loss for Leuzinger tonight. Obviously, they had to give the Mayor's Cup over to Hawthorne after how many years was it?
Not even sure. I think it's about 9 or 10, something like that.
I'm over here with Coach Ron Wilson. Of course, we got a couple of, he called the plays tonight. Coach Aguilar is in with the team talking to him now. He's telling them, keep your head high. They have nothing to be ashamed of the way they played tonight. We got a couple of all-stars here. Who's this?
Oh, this is Ron the second right here, and this is Zaro Wilson, twins.
All right, well, how do you feel? Did you think the guys, I mean, you know, it was a pretty valiant effort tonight. What do you want to build on from here? You know, like the coach from Hawthorne said something very interesting, because this is not an 0-4 team. The record does not reflect the quality of the team you guys got. You had some tough breaks tonight. Any comments, Coach?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm proud of the guys. This is the first game that we've played. Even though we've lost everyone, this is the first game we played that I've left this game, and I felt good about the situation. Very good.
And I'd like to turn now over to my wonderful colleague, Sebastian. He's going to, I think he has a couple questions for Coach. Sebastian?
All right, thanks a lot, BRT. Coach Wilson, great effort out there tonight. Just wanted to ask you about what went wrong on that last play down there on defense with Hawthorne. What do you think caused that mental lapse down there?
Just like you said, it's a mental lapse. Number one, you know, when you're short on guys, you know, those 4 quarters get longer and longer and longer, especially when our guys are playing both ways and special teams. So, you know, all those things take an effect. You know, they played with a lot of heart. It's a very emotional game, which is probably the most emotional game they're going to play all season. So once you play with all those emotions, that kind of drains you out a lot. So a lot of mental and small lapses do happen. Yeah.
All right, and I understand as well that you're new to this Leuzinger program. Just talk about some of the things that you want to bring to this program and let everybody know that you know Leuzinger is still alive, very much so.
Oh yeah, I mean, main thing I want teams, when other teams leave our game, win, lose, or draw, I want them to remember playing us. And I know they know our guys are going to go 100% every play. They're going to hit you hard. And yeah, we may make little mistakes here and there, but we'll make up for it somewhere, hopefully. Come out on top.
Anyway, I'm Brian Taylor, and this is
Sebastian Spencer.
We're here with Coach Ed Wilson. Thank you so much, Coach. Better luck next week.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
And after a tough loss, a terrific chance to talk to the new offensive coordinator for the Leuzinger Olympians. Is I'm sure not a fun time there in the locker room for the Olympians, but boy, they have a lot to build on after tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think Coach hit on it. This is the first time all season where he can go home tonight after the game, despite it being a loss, and feel good. Hats off to these Olympians. They played hard tonight, and they had every reason in the world to come out here and just fold the tent, roll over, and allow Hawthorne to come into here as a prohibitive favorite and just roll all over them and easily fall to 0-5 and easily just give the Mayor's Cup up. But they didn't. They played hard tonight, and this is an offense that has plenty of firepower in Hawthorne, plenty of playmakers.
Right.
They may not see a team, even in the Bay League, with as many playmakers as this Hawthorne team has, and they held them to 19 points tonight.
Well, they figured out a way to stop Isaiah Brame, who had 66 yards on 4 carries, did not even touch the ball on offense in the second half, and then had a couple of catches for 36 yards. And so he still had, real close to another 100 yards in offense. Well, actually, he did have over 100 yards in total offense because he did have that big 38-yard kickoff return that set up one of the scores for the Hawthorne Cougars. So he did still get some things going there. And also, it was Williams, the running back, Larry Williams, for the Cougars, who played a big part. 89 yards and 15 carries for Larry. And how big was he?
Nah, he's huge, and he's the guy that you don't really talk about. He's not going to get all the headlines. He doesn't have much flash to him. We talked about it all throughout the course of the game tonight. He's just Mr. Steady.
That's right.
And he continues to get the job done. You got a playmaker here, a playmaker there, a playmaker there, and then you have this guy, Larry Williams, who you have to contend with, who's quite the playmaker in his own right, but isn't going to wow you at all. He's going to run right downhill. He's going to run right at you, maybe even run through you, and pick up some nice yards and provides quite a run threat in this run game for Hawthorne.
That was the best game we have seen him play, and this is our third game with and seeing the Cougars, and so we are 4 wins with the Cougars this year, and Larry Williams gets to shine tonight because everybody was looking out for Isaiah Brame.
Yeah, absolutely, and you got to locate Brame, and he's the playmaker, and as I said it last week, I said it again tonight. It's going to be interesting to see, beginning with Beverly Hills next week, how Ocean League teams are going to defend him. It's one thing to have success in the non-league, but then it's a whole nother thing once you get to league play, because your league is like your brothers. They know everything about you. They know
right.
more than you, than maybe even you think you know that they know. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they defend him. But another game tonight, Mr. Plug and Play, but a positive sign for Hawthorne tonight.
Absolutely.
Brame had that one run, but you didn't see much from Bailey. You didn't see much from Gant, and they were still able to come up with the win without all of their playmakers having a fantastic night tonight.
That's right. The defense doing a terrific job again tonight against the Leuzinger Olympians. And Ricky Calderon, what about the leader on the field general for the Cougars, as he was 5 out of 10 for 77 yards. Did have a pick tonight as well, and no touchdowns through the air. But boy, what a terrific job by him running the offense and keeping things going.
Yeah, I think they found their quarterback. Coach K found it important to be able to have one guy to kind of step up and take the position, and he did. And a credit to him, but also kind of benefited Hawthorne in the same way because Salam is a stud linebacker.
Right.
And so they need him on that side of the football, and hard to have your starting quarterback play linebacker, which is such a physical position on the defensive side of the ball. So Calderon did it, and he's got all these toys to play with. Yeah. It's just about continuing to play with them, and we'll see, how far this thing is able to go.
And I do think that Leuzinger is going to get a win or two in the Bay League because they can control the ball as well. Justin Delgado did a good job of handing the ball off to Cololo and Christie, so that should be an interesting Bay League and an interesting Ocean League. A lot of question marks from the schools that we cover going in.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of question marks. One thing that you saw as far as the stamp of Coach Aguilar on the defensive side of the ball. He's a defensive coach. He talked about
That's
defense, and he's going to continue to make those improvements on the defensive side of the ball. You saw it tonight, and of course, it's going to be that defense that's going to allow them to potentially pick up, a couple of wins here come Bay League season. It's going to be tough, though.
I'm sure he's going to tell Cololo to drink a little bit more of that hydration soup over the weekend.
Oh, man, drink all of it. And make sure you have some sunflower
Lots
seeds.
Lots of chicken soup over the
Might
weekend.
even get some salt pills for him.
No. I'm getting nauseous right now thinking about it. Well, not nauseous to think about this. We got to talk about the player of the game right now. And for the Olympians, there's only one guy in my mind that could even be considered for it.
Who you got?
I got Cololo.
Cololo. I like Cololo. I think that's a great choice. You can also throw Christie in there as well, but Cololo did so much. I agree with you there with Cololo.
Without Leuma Cololo, sorry about that. I'm still getting those names down. Leuma Cololo, he is definitely the spiritual leader for this club. No doubt about it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, he plays with such a ferociousness, such a tenacity. He's such a tough player. I mean, you saw him not even want to get helped off of the field after suffering those cramps here tonight, and then he comes back and makes a big play. Remember, he got that swat on that fourth down against Hawthorne, and forced the Cougars to turn the ball over on downs, and it plays with so much heart, and that has to spread throughout this entire Leuzinger football team.
And I'm sure it did, and it will continue to grow. Larry Williams on the other side of the ball for the Hawthorne Cougars, as his grinded out running game really held things back, really kept things going for Hawthorne, and didn't give Leuzinger really a chance to get back late.
Yeah, he's Mr. Steady. I mean, you talk about all the guys on the outside, but he kind of just kept the ship flowing and floating tonight, just kept them ashore tonight. Didn't really have those big plays, those big explosive plays, or as many of them as we're accustomed to seeing Hawthorne have, but Williams just kept it steady.
That's right. So this is a big win for Hawthorne because it was just a steady win. It wasn't a spectacular win like we've seen the previous couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
So Hawthorne's player of the game is Larry Williams, and Leuzinger's player of the game is Leamo Cololo. I'm going to get that by the end of the year, partner.
I'm right there with you.
All right. Well, what do you say we put a bow on this and put it in the bank? There we go. This one's bowed up, tied up, and we're going to put this one up in the shelf. And I want to thank you for watching us on Channel 22, and also want to thank the terrific Channel 22 sports crew for Rashawn Haylock and Sebastian Spencer and Brian Thomas. I'm Lou Stowers telling you once more from Leuzinger High School, the Mayor's Cup goes across town to Hawthorne High for the first time in 9 years after a 19-9 win by Hawthorne over Leuzinger. Until next week, so long.